All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Serious Angler podcast, or should I say, not so serious angler podcast tonight. As always, I'm your host, Bailey Egbert, and joined with me is my festive co host here, Mr. Adam Deacon.
Oh,
Full.
We had the drinks up and you still incredible.
you can't be. You can't love it. I'm just Christmas lights.
See that? It's got a llama on there.
It's incredible.
I think Seth Feider needs to imprint his brand onto that ugly sweater.
Right? Like that's what I can think about. My girlfriend found this at a thrift store. It's like a little tight, honestly. Like it's probably for her, but I found it and was like, yeah, this is gonna go. It's gonna go on today.
Wait, okay, totally random, and this might be a really stupid question, but like knowing me, it probably is. What is the difference between an alpaca and a llama?
I think that's a John King question, truthfully. But the one thing I know is that alpacas like to spit. So I don't know if a llama will spit on you.
I feel like they both spit.
Alpaca will definitely spit.
An alpaca they use it's like the wool, right?
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I think they both have. A llama might have wool too.
We did warn people it was a fishing, non-fishing, and whatever the hell happens tonight. We apologize if you have any kids watching this show. Just fair warning. But either way, we got a bunch of our buddies coming up on the show, guys that have stuck with us since the beginning. Some guys that we've met, just this past year, some past few months ago, and have become good friends of ours. People that have helped us out big time through the course of this show. So we're excited to let loose and have ourselves a not so serious episode which I think Andy has been a long time.
A jolly good time.
Ever since Andy explored that if he could put the mic up to his phone, it'll like make his voice sound more like
loud.
No, it's not that at all. It was the one night we were testing out your new mic setup, and you're just like, "How does this sound, Andy?"
Yeah, and everyone listening with headphones on is now like lost their hearing from you doing that.
Quite literally.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't have much to intro for folks tonight because I think we should start introducing our friends here and get rolling with tonight's show because we have a lot of fun topics to talk about. And I'm sure it's just honestly going to be a shit show, which I'm very excited for.
I'm scared of all the questions coming our way.
Yeah, I'm scared for you.
Why did you start that? Gosh dang it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think without further ado, we need to introduce our narwhal friend here, who's currently chugging a glass of who knows what. Mr. John King, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, everybody! It's good to be here. Look, I got my eye and my horn. Can you see it?
Don't stroke
See
it.
my eye? I've just been hanging out on the iceberg all day long, waiting for little penguins to go by.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ. It's already started on a horrible note.
Hey, on that note, I'll catch you guys.
Andy's out.
Andy's made his exit.
I made this costume today. You can throw it from the base.
I wake up and I get a text message at 7:30 in the morning with a selfie from John wearing that exact outfit, saying, "Making my outfit for tonight." And I thought he was joking until I opened up StreamYard tonight, and there he is. He's still wearing it. Did that come off today, or did you wear that from start to finish?
I just put it on.
I don't know how long I can take the narwhal voice.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'll stop it. No, I just put it on today.
Yesterday.
There he is.
My wife didn't know what the hell I was doing. So.
I bet not.
No.
How many doorways, like the tops of doorways, did you bang it off of and lose the top of your hat? Or should I say it's fine? Horn.
I took out some Christmas tree lights, a couple Christmas cards, just walking around and stuff like that. But
that's good
not
stuff.
Too many. Not too many. I'm excited for tonight. It's going to be a great Christmas episode.
It's gonna be a banger.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for John's segment coming up here tonight's show.
I have some special questions for Andy. I'm going to put him in a little scenario and ask him some questions.
Why is it always got to be me?
Because you're the captain.
That's who you are.
Come up with funny things. Yeah.
Oh,
El Capitan.
Sink the boat. Just sink the boat.
Well, I think with that being said, before we really let loose, we need to keep introducing folks here. And one of the folks, one of the guys who's been around for the longest of time, and I feel bad that he hasn't been on in quite a while. Well, actually, this could really be for a few guys tonight, but a buddy who's really helped me out in starting this thing, growing this platform, because his own show is very successful. A good friend of ours and one we always enjoyed talking to, Mr. Andrew Hayes from the Tackle Talk podcast, who I will say is not very festive tonight.
I know. Hey, I got here, right? I got here after work and I just hopped on. So
Plain Jane.
Didn't have time to go to wherever you guys went, Halloween Express, and grab your shit.
Holiday Express, all right? Get it right.
Yeah, that moves into the strip mall after Halloween Express leaves.
November 1st, okay?
Or I guess I could have just done what John did. I could have gone to the bathroom and taped something in my head. I didn't realize that was an option.
Anything goes tonight, boys. Anything goes.
Also, how does a narwhal have a Vexus?
Yeah. Even the captain doesn't have a Vexus.
Right.
Lotto tickets.
Lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great investment strategy. I've been doing that for a couple of years as well.
Wait, is it the narwhal from the land of misfits? Is that where the Vexus belongs?
Yeah, because it's tin and people hate on it. Well, mine's tin and people hate on it. But no, Vexus is cool. I named my boat. Actually, all Vexus owners have to name their boats, and mine is after one of my favorite actresses. Mine's Alexis Vexus. So I don't know if you've seen any of her work, but yeah, Alexis Vexus is the name of my boat.
Oh gosh, I made my bad.
Oh God! Please tell me you have to do like the thing they do on sailboats where you have it like tattooed on the boat's back somewhere, right? Like you have to have that written on there.
Yeah, I have a few things tattooed on the back, but not that.
Well, okay. Yeah. Just lob that one up for you.
Hey, you know why? Because nobody does it better.
Oh,
You
God.
know what the best part about the whole narwhal horn is? Every time he slightly moves, it blocks the light and takes the glare away.
Bailey, how long has this show been? Have you been doing Serious Angler?
Forever.
Forever.
Almost 2.5 years.
All right, it's been a great 2.5 years. It's gonna end tonight.
That's it.
We tried to take precautionary measures, but I don't think we had enough boundaries.
Love is going down.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, let's keep the
John
introduction
King's game
coming.
is canceled.
He's been one of our biggest fans. Always texts us out, like off and on about shows and guests, and then he's the one that gets us canceled.
Full circle.
I brought you into this world. I'm going to take you out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's keep the introductions rolling here with a guy who, unlike Andrew Hayes, has been around for a long time and been a buddy of mine, been a traveling partner, and look forward to traveling with him a bunch next year. Probably our most southern folk here, Mr. Zach Hall. What's going on, bro?
Not much. How y'all?
What are you hiding your drink for? What are you sipping?
I just want to be presentable.
Oh yeah, that ain't happening.
I don't have a sausage
the
link on my
narwhal?
head or nothing. I was just trying to address what I think's appropriate, I guess.
There you go.
I got AFCO on though. I shouldn't be wearing that on this podcast, should I?
You're fine, man.
Dude, I went through like vintage hats and I found an Abu one. And then I've got a
dude,
Team
that's sweet.
Daiwa. And then I have a Shimano one I can't reach over there, but I found some sweet old hats.
Heck yeah.
That Team Dio one's pretty sharp.
I did. I got a couple of these. Selling them on eBay. I'm just kidding. I'm keeping them. But
Camping.
anyway.
People still use that crap? People still use eBay?
Oh yeah.
Especially
I
for
know.
lures. Like, what? It's a great place
Actually, I
to
shouldn't say that because we got our friend Mr. Bateman down there who's probably like, you don't use eBay?
Oh, there's all kinds of good things.
I get all my lures from Craigslist Misconnections. That's where I find all my stuff.
Misconnection.
The land of misfits. Well, Zach, dude, I know you made the a move that you were pretty pumped about. You moved back home to the great state of Louisiana. Since you're moved, how think? Oh, also, since you've been on this show last, congrats on adding another member to the family. So
I appreciate it. Yeah,
for Mr. Zach Hall.
Got another little boy. He's 5 months old now.
Congrats.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
How's it being back in Louisiana? Much better than Michigan?
Oh my God, the weather is awesome. It was low 80s, high 70s all last week. We've got like 3 or 4 days where it's in the 50s. You know, it's getting really cold down here. Next week it's going to be back up in the high 70s, low 80s. So very warm little Christmas, New Year.
Yeah, nobody feels bad for you.
That's what I love about Louisiana. It's a roller coaster with the weather, but you're not stuck in snow and ice for 2 or 3 months on end. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
We don't have any ice right now, so
Yeah,
that's good.
I don't think anyone in here has ice. I don't think.
Yeah, not anything you can go
maybe
fish on.
closest.
Yeah.
Nah, it's all like skim ice every morning, that kind of a thing. But
All right. Well, let's keep the introductions rolling. We got another buddy of ours down below. We got 2 more people to introduce tonight, and one that's very anxious to get in. So we'll keep him waiting. We're gonna keep him waiting until last time.
that was sweet. Wow,
And-
I was confused. I thought there was a fish on there as well.
Yeah. And we will introduce our buddy, Mr. Kevin Baxter the Bait Man. What's going on, sir?
Oh man, I just woke up, to be honest with you.
What an introduction.
Yeah, I work midnight, so yeah, I'm here. That was an ugly sweater party, so I wore the ugliest thing I had. So
I thought you were a Tennessee fan.
oh, I am. I just sometimes not very proud of it.
it happens.
Born into it.
And yeah, so I try to catch the last of the first doubleheader Monday Night Football, and yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm just getting woke up. So y'all get this thing rowdy for me.
Oh, I think it's already starting to get rowdy. But Deacon, what were you gonna say?
No, nothing. Go ahead.
Since I got a question.
Spit it.
Since you're getting ready, since you're just waking up, do you kind of look like this in certain areas?
No, it was a little bit more like this when I woke up.
Doesn't have an angle.
Yeah, it's not leaning, bud.
No 45s on this boat, right?
I heard that was healthy though.
Yeah,
Everyone has a little angle, right?
it's not quite that big either. Just FYI.
Zach, I don't know what they told you in Louisiana, but that ain't healthy.
I will go
But,
back to the doctor. I'll get a second opinion.
Anyways, thanks for having me.
Yeah, buddy, it's been a long time.
We can stir some poop up, that's for sure.
I'm sure we could.
Real quick though, how is everything on the home range around you?
Yeah, man. So, I got a brain freeze is bad. So anyway, yeah, if you didn't know, my little area here, Western Kentucky, was smoked by a nader, and just down the road is Mayfield, and that's where a huge amount of the damage was. But we got a lot of stuff here on Kentucky Lake that's just as bad. So the tornado was about a quarter mile from my house, and it's getting better. People are getting power. It's really crazy the amount of support nationally and locally everyone's had for each other. I don't mean this bad, but it sucks that it takes a natural disaster like this to bring people together. But it's nice to see that. It could have been way worse because my town was like, they're basically saying Benton is going to be a direct hit, like it's going to happen just like Mayfield. And tornado just pushed a little bit north and basically went outside the city limits. Still wasn't good, but it is what it is. And I was without power and cell service for a long time and no internet, so I just got that back up. So, I mean, I've kind of been a ghost for the past month and a half on social media or whatnot, but I'm getting back into it. So, glad to be able to stream with you guys. I'll just put it that way.
We're glad you're back.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd hate to have to pick all these damn crankbaits up out of trees. It'd be really bad. I mean, I cast them into trees, but this would be way worse.
Yeah, we were worried about you that night. We was happy to see you make it through that just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a grown man, but it's a lot different when you get a tornado warning. We've had them all the time, and nothing really ever happens. But if you're watching the live, like local news and stuff, the way the broadcasters, the meteorologists are reporting, you knew it was like, hey, it's going to hit the fan. These guys had they were scared in their voices and stuff, so it kind of worried me. I told my wife, I was like, man, I've never seen our local guy torn up like this. And it was, we had about an hour warning, so there was really, most people, even though people did take cover and everything, everyone had ample time, but we never knew it would be like this. So, very blessed, and makes you really think about things. So, hey, little things like joining into a podcast and stuff like that, it's a big deal now, So, anyway, don't want to get too sappy. We got to get the holiday spirit going. So, we're going to still have Christmas
amen
around
to that.
here.
Amen to that. That's why, we call ourselves serious anglers here. But tonight we're going to kick back, relax, have a damn good time, and enjoy the good things in life. You don't have to be serious all the time.
I'm just glad that Zach and Andrew are on here. Know those guys from a little Instagram messaging. There's some funny son bitches. So.
Oh yeah, the group gets interesting.
Always.
R.I.P. Steve Mooey.
All we're missing is Forrest.
I can't believe you can't
What
get
a bitch.
Steve in here.
Yeah,
He's
where's Steve at?
I can send him a text here and get him on, but he's
probably searching Tackle Warehouse for some bait that's been around for 15 years.
He's probably
just to catch 12-inch Florida bass.
Man's jelly worms.
He's probably secretly watching, but if you text him, he'll be like, "No, I'm too busy."
Yeah.
He's like, "Fuck you guys."
Actually, isn't he going on a guide trip with Bogo this week?
Oh,
I think that's what he's supposed to be doing.
He's actually driving home
Yeah.
to Illinois to spend Christmas with his family and the wifey's family, I believe. He was texting me earlier.
Illinois to Florida. That's a trip.
Yeah, he said he
He's
drove
married?
through the Lake Barkley area, and he said it was just horrible.
Steve's
Yeah.
married.
No, he's got
not
the
married.
He didn't even message me.
girlfriend, long-term girlfriend.
That qualifies as a wife.
He went,
Common-law marriage.
he went
Yeah.
right
Props
by
to
me
her.
and didn't even message me.
What a jerk!
Yeah. I'm really pissed.
All right, real fast. I got to introduce our last person of the night before he thinks we forgot him.
Santa's little helper.
We forgot Santa's little helper tonight, so we might as well introduce him. He's been a good buddy of ours for the past few months since we met at the St. Lawrence Open, and since then I think he's been to Buffalo. Andy, 300 times?
Yeah, no
guys
joke.
come-
Yeah, I
But,
get to see
what's
him again in another week. I'm ecstatic. So
Nice.
I love Joe. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Mr. Joe LaBarbera, Santa's little helper. What's going on, buddy?
He's
Not
been
that we
doing
can
that.
see you. Looking like
He's
a
been doing
stoner
that for the
down there.
past 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just waiting. That's a cool shirt.
That dude's
Big Bass Dreams.
You can leave.
Joe-
You can leave the optic nerve on. It's fine.
Nah, I can't see. I'm silly.
You
can't see.
look like a hardcore stoner right now
I'm
doing the pod with
indoors,
us.
dude.
Yo, bro.
Yo.
Oh, he dropped the headphones. He can't hear us.
And that's all for Joe tonight, folks. We'll talk to him later.
Great seeing you.
Great seeing you, Sam. Santa's little helper.
Well, I think as Bateman said, trying to get the Christmas spirits up, we will start. We're gonna go around the horn here and kind of talk about. It's funny I said around the horn, and John King actually has a horn on tonight. But we're gonna talk.
That's not a horn.
It's more like around the porn.
Good God.
That Alexis, Texas reference was freaking spot on. I was
about
dying
to say.
Backstage. Dying.
Did you actually steal that from her? To put it on your head?
I created it myself.
He's an artist.
Yeah, I am.
I was hoping Hayes though would go all like Wedding Crashers, like lower back tattoo might as well be a bullseye kind of reference. Like,
Hey, I've been trying for a good solid 6 months to get Brazzers Bass and hashtag to go, but it won't work.
Good gosh. Oh
This is
man.
so
Well,
good.
I think joking. Well, I mean, not joking aside, but in a lighter note,
aside.
no, joking is welcomed. But I would like to go around the room here and kind of talk about first thing that comes to mind, like your highlight of 2021, looking back on the year. And we'll start with Santa's little helper down there and kind of dive into what your highlight of 2021 was.
I mean, I would just have to say it was catching 40 pounds at the Open at the St. Lawrence. I mean, you guys, if you haven't heard the story, like,
In one day.
it's great freaking story. You need like 15 minutes
Splash,
to hear it
splash,
out,
taking
though.
a bath.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. It was awesome though, because it made my year. It was a culmination of weeks and weeks of hard work, like every weekend, like barely sleeping so I could get back up to the St. Lawrence for 2 days, and then falling in the lake and feeling like it was all going to go away. And then it all like managed to like slowly come together during the Derb. And I don't know. Yeah, I guess that was it if I'm thinking about on the water stuff, but I had some awesome stuff happen off the water too. So that was just the first thing that comes to mind.
All right, Baxter, take us away.
Well, I don't get to fish as much as you gentlemen. Obviously, that's why I got all these damn baits back here. No fish pictures, but I did.
It resonates with the name.
Yeah, I'm just trying to live it up for IG. But I guess on the water, being part of that Whack Fest with 6 Cents Fishing last February or this past February, that was just an unreal week. I mean, that I haven't seen anything that's not a professional touring event or whatever. I'm definitely not pros. I guess Milliken, he's kind of a pro YouTube, but that was insane. Lots of hype on that. And then I guess the other highlight would be getting a shout out there on Low Budget Live by Luke Duncan. You know, that was pretty cool. But
Yowzer.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that was cool, but that was an interesting few days. But it is what it is. But yeah, year was good. I didn't get to fish and stream as much as I wanted to, so we'll fix that next year.
Always next year.
In the wise words of my father, shit happens.
Yeah, true Vols statement. There is always next year.
Yeah, that's funny. It's like every like 99% of schools except for Alabama have that statement. But John, you wanna go next, Mr. Narwhal?
Sure. I guess the highlight was I bought a boat this year, so I went from always being someone's little bitch to finally being able to drive a boat and figure it out, because I never was a boater, so I had no idea what I was doing. That was pretty awesome. And then also, it was pretty cool making the championship trophy for the NPFL because, they didn't fucking have a championship. So.
All right, buddy.
Hey,
I will say,
John King.
Glad I got that recognition. Glad I got that recognition, and also glad that they got rid of their shitty ass social media person because they were terrible. Terrible.
I guess we are calling people out.
Tell us how you really feel about it, John.
Terrible.
Hey, I will say, although the trophy did not get to be awarded, John, you do a hell of a job making those damn things, dude. Those things, I'm no joking, no joke. Those things are badass. I love to have that on my trophy case.
So to end that, there's a reason this is beer and not sweet tea.
Yeah.
Whoa.
you get that recognition.
Whoa.
It's probably going to take me like 30 minutes, but I'll come back.
Yeah, Bailey's not quick. Bailey doesn't pick up that humor very fast. Like, you got to really spell it out easy for him. He's like a second grader. He spells homie wrong.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
All right, question here. Who spells homie with an I-E or a Y?
I-E.
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 All right, Andy, it's your.
Oh, switch places.
I'm so confused. Our deacon's in charge.
I wish we could get Dick Duckett in here.
Now.
What do I do with my hands?
He'd have to wear like a voice recorder.
Yeah, it's just like a static picture.
Oh, like
on
the 60
video.
Minutes where they put him like in the black screen and you see the background.
His voice is all low.
My name is Dick Duckett, and I'm here to tell you about bad
The
things.
last time I watched an MLF event,
That's good.
Good gosh. All right, moving on. Andy Hayes, take it away, buddy.
What is it? What's the question? Y'all have gone on like 10 tangents. I can't remember what you asked.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
Your highlight
I
of
can't remember.
2021.
Highlight of 2021.
It's gotta be
around
this
here.
show.
So it's besides this, it's gonna sound super lame after somebody hanging up 40 pounds, but around here we have just super tiny, terrible fish, and me and my buddy caught a 23-pound bag, which around here on public water is pretty darn good. So on a lake that its average fish is probably like 1.5 pounds, we put 5 together for 23 in the kayaks, and it was just like one of those, I don't know, 30-minute windows that you just dream about, where they're all stacked where they should be. They're on a ledge from like, 5 foot dropping down to like 20, and you're just throwing like a 1 ounce football jig on that 5 foot and just letting it fall, and then halfway down just getting donked. And we were sitting in the kayaks, and it was a good old time. So I'd say it was probably most memorable fishing memory, I guess, of this year. Or breaking my PB muskie. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's good
Dude,
stuff.
that wade fishing you do is pretty gnarly.
Dude, yeah, so that's what sucks is like you don't catch a lot of big fish doing that. But yeah, around here, if you want to catch a bunch of fish, we're in farm country. So you literally just put on like an old pair of shorts and a pair of shoes, and you just get in wherever you find water and start walking. And, you walk 2-3 miles back in someone's farmland, and there's smallmouth back there that have never seen a lure in 10 years. And so it's a ton of fun. You just go back there and smack fish, but you got to be like super stealthy, and it's a whole lot of fun, but it's a whole different type of fishing. We get in places that most people would like drive over and probably call like a drainage ditch. And there's, 15, 16, 17-inch smallmouth back there.
And they fight like crazy, I'm sure.
Oh, dude, it's fun. Yeah, we go back with like ultralight rods and stuff like that and just play around with them. It's a blast.
Yeah, it's the best. I grew up like 8 years old, wading in old like lawn mowing sneakers, doing the same.
And then
thing.
you grew up and you did real fishing, and I still do this.
Well, no, but I actually I still go back. Like
most people graduate to like better fishing, and I'm still.
I mean,
walking
but like
through the creek.
I can't like tow the Phoenix all over the country. Like I'm not made out of money. I don't own a Vexus, Like I don't have that kind of
I
liquidity.
don't have a horn on my head.
It's a Lexus
yeah.
Vexus. Get it right.
Yeah,
I think the narwhal.
So I'm like, honestly, dude, like those fish fight pound for pound harder than any other fish. Like in bass fishing, is those tiny little creek fish, those creek smallies, northerns.
It teaches you to not discount any water ever. Like if it's over an ankle deep, depth on average, there can be fish down there.
Did you guys see that comment?
What was that?
I was wondering why he's been like incognito for a while.
Mr. Dick Duckett says, I am in anger management right now. My therapist says no Instagram till February.
Is your therapist Zuck? Did you get zucked?
Oh man.
Oh god.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, Black Bell. It's a good group of guys. They got a great podcast. So,
Who's that? Oh, Blake Bell Outdoors. Here we are. I was like, who?
hey,
To give them a little shout out.
I'm just trying to get you some love, man.
Heck yeah. I dig.
Yeah, right.
I dig it. More love for everybody. More love to go around. And I think with that, we will turn it over to our Louisiana boy, Mr. Zach Hall, and shoot us your highlight of 2021. Anytime now.
Third place on Seminole in the Hobie BOS in February. Can you hear me?
Hell yeah. I can hear you. I think you're on a delay.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I thought I was muted still. Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, first tournament of the year, third place. That's good stuff. A lot of other good things happened, but that was the highlight. We can go on all day.
Andrew, do you feel outnumbered by these like banana boaters?
Yeah,
banana boaters.
There's
3.
It feels like so many when there's 3 around. I've never met 3 in my life. I feel outnumbered.
What a jabroni! You know what? We're getting rid of Santa's little helper for a little while.
Again,
he's in timeout.
Times 2.
He's in timeout. Oh gosh. Well, I think if we keep going in the pattern we've been going, I will go next year and say that for me the highlight of 2021 was early in 2021 adding keep going. There we go. Adding these two boys to the show here and getting their help and support for a serious angler growing this brand and business from the bass boat. That for me has been the biggest highlight. It's been a hell of a time, and like we've been hitting it for folks tuning into this thing, there's big things for 2022, and all these people below me here have been having a hand in that. So thank you to all you guys. 1, for your help this past year, and 2 years for some of you, but thank you for also joining us tonight and having a grand old time. And hopefully it doesn't get this show canceled, but either way, we're going to enjoy it nonetheless.
I didn't have a whole hand. It was like a finger or 2.
Yeah. Joe just will buy like 30 guide trips from Andy every year.
Dude, if I keep slaying steel, it's fine. And I get to watch the Andrew show when I 2 seconds, it's over. It's great. It's like quicker than me in bed. It's great.
Oh my god.
Well, thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Andy, take it away.
All right. Well, I guess my highlight of 2021 is probably leaving the corporate world. Couldn't have done it without my supportive family and wife. She's awesome. And then also, second thing, lately are my random coffee dates with Bailey in his humble abode on a weekly basis, it seems, here recently. So I think we got to keep that up.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds cute.
It is. I show up at his house this morning. He's like all bundled up in a heated blanket. I was like, is that a heated blanket?
Of course.
That's cute.
Guilty.
What brand is that?
Yeah.
Cute.
This podcast has now gotten more awkward than Christine Fisher's DMs from Instagram from all these fishing weirdos.
I didn't know where that was going. I'm glad it ended there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really good. Oh god.
Oh man.
I've heard stories.
I can't imagine all these weirdos out here.
People are
I literally
ruthless.
could not imagine.
No thanks. Which seriously, mad respect to chicks like Christine that are kicking ass like she does.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, on second thought, what would happen if it was like the reverse and we all had like 1,000 women like sending us DMs on the daily basis? Like,
I'd never sleep.
Look at
Brothers are normal, I'll tell you how it is. See this? Boy.
Good gosh. All right, Deacon, wrap us up, buddy.
All right, man. 2021. It's been awesome to join the Serious Angler crew. That's probably my number one. And kind of getting out of going full time with the company I worked for, going independent contractor. Still have a blast with those guys, as well as with you guys and chasing the fishing thing. So it's been great to kind of go after my own thing.
Hell yeah. Amen to that, man. Well, I think so. We went around the horn here. So I think without further ado, John, I think your segment. Are you prepared?
I'm prepared.
He's prepared.
God.
All right.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out before this really turns to a dumpster fire.
If I don't like the question, I'm just gonna remove myself, and then everyone else will have to answer.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Here's what we can do. We can just do this.
Nice.
What Bailey forgets is I have control over this too, so
Yeah.
I can just add people in as I want.
Sure. I wish we had like Pat Renwick style. I could play some music, but I want to set up this scenario.
Okay.
Let's say you and your wife have a date night. The
Okay.
kiddo is at your in-laws' house.
Okay.
So you guys go out for dates, probably knowing you, wings and beer, something like that.
Maybe.
And you come in the house, you walk in the door, and she immediately goes straight to the bedroom and says, "Put on the hat, Captain." So she says, "Put on the hat, Captain." Which of these 4 pickup lines would ensure a good night? And these are kind of fishing and boating related. The first, "I don't need a depth finder to show you how deep is my love." That's the first. The second, "Is Big Daddy going to have to toss a fat rope on your dock for permission to come aboard?" Number 3, "Keep backing up, baby. Daddy will let you know when she's wet. We just got to get the boat in the water." Number 4, and last but not least, "Depending how off course we get, I'm game for a little boat stuff."
How about I plead the 5th?
Oh my gosh. Andy's wife can never see this.
Oh, she's probably watching.
Bravo.
My
That
favorite
was so thoughtful.
My favorite was permission to throw a fat rope on your dock for permission to come aboard.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Come
good one.
aboard. Yeah. B,
John-
go
John-
with B.
B.
John, have you ever considered, instead of doing what you do now, to just make Hallmark cards for Valentine's Day?
God.
He's Mr. Deeds.
John King.
He's Mr. Deeds.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Literally dead on.
People used to say I look like Adam Sandler all the time, so that makes sense. Dumb.
Dick
Oh, well.
Duck is all about the big fat rope.
Lord, sir.
Welcome aboard.
I think I know who One of Whom is now on Instagram.
Yeah,
Who
right.
cares? Oh, me.
For real?
That took me a second.
No, I don't have that much time. No. I remember
Let's be real. John's too
Robertson-
busy yelling at online shoppers.
Yeah. Matt Robertson sent me a text one time. It's like, "Are you Dick Duckett?" And my simple response was, "No, I'm a lot funnier than that piece of shit."
Oh boy, get ready for the comment.
Oh, here he
Here
comes. He's coming at you now.
Oh, the narwhal.
Permission
Goodbye,
to
narwhal.
fire away.
Dude, he's gonna. I'm
Target
gonna
acquired.
keep looking at my phone to see how he roasts you. Like, here he comes.
Oh gosh.
You should just block him on Instagram now, dude. Like now, he's
Yeah.
gonna get.
Oh, he's gonna be like screenshotting this and putting
Yeah, I
it.
know.
Oh wait, you're good till February though, because he's in jail.
You got to remember, I would have to follow him first for me to block it.
You don't follow him? Come on.
No.
No, come on.
Oof.
I follow all the guys that make riffraff and oh yeah, dude, I need something to do at work. My job, if I had to actually work,
I don't know if your new boss would appreciate that.
Well, that guy. Well, see, that's not work though, dude. That's not work. The old boss, they don't.
Living.
No.
Are you allowed to talk about your new boss yet? I mean,
I don't know. It's not a big deal. I mean, spend a lot of time on my phone. I got a lot of bosses
who we just
now.
lose?
Zach.
We just lost Zach. Oh, damn, Louisiana boys.
I thought it was his dog barking, but
I did too.
Those are chickens.
That's a chicken?
That is not a
No, I
chicken.
think it's dogs.
definitely a dog barking.
Yeah,
it's my neighbor's shit eater that they got chained outside, and it's like it's like 20 degrees out here, and they won't.
Yo, speaking of chicken, did you guys see this meme today? I saw it on Sarah's page. Is that not the funniest freaking shit?
I've seen that.
Waterproof that chicken and give it a kazoo, dude. Like, come on. Like, literally, I'm in my office. I laughed out loud. Like, I literally broke out. Like, people were coming to check on me. Like, it's hilarious, dude.
John, we have a message for you on screen.
Aww.
Would you like to make amends?
Therapy's working.
I'm sorry. As a former counselor myself, I'm sorry I said those things, Dick. I really don't. I'm sad at myself for saying that. I apologize.
I'm sad at myself.
I'm sad at myself.
Oh gosh.
It's weird that you're sitting here insulting Dick when you have one taped to your head.
Man, so few words so far, but he nailed it.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah. Oh god, that's good. All right, let's take a turn here before we go off the deep end just yet.
We're not off yet.
We're close. We're close.
This man's drowning over here.
Yeah. And I have a few topics here, and if you guys think of anything as well, that's some juicy topics that we should share stories around, please speak up. But I think the first thing that I would personally enjoy you all going around and sharing is your craziest boat ramp stories, where you just see that one whack job that just messes everything up, or like you kind of get my drift here. But I'm just very curious what you guys have seen in your travels and your boat ramp days. And so we'll kick it off here with the captain, if you'd like to kick us off with some of the crazy stuff you've seen here in old Buffalo, New York.
This year alone, I've had countless situations where I'm pulling into the boat ramp and some old dude is like screaming at his 25-year-old girlfriend to hold the rope as the boat is like floating away, and he'll have like no shirt on, like super tight shorts. I'm like, what is going on out here? And then I have guys that like the girlfriend is holding the rope to walk it on, and they like floor their boat and like crash it into the back of their truck. I've seen that a couple times where they completely miss everything with a pontoon boat. It's like, this place is wild. Like, Small Boat Harbor in Buffalo is weird because we have like 8 ramps. We have 8 ramps and 4 in, 4 out, and people will like hop in the in ramps with pontoon boats and try to load them, and jet skiers will cut people off. It's funny, and it's old people in Speedos yelling at their young girlfriends to hold the ropes.
I'm not that old, dude.
I wasn't talking to you, Joe.
Oh gosh, Deacon, what about you, dude?
Dude, yeah. What kills me is always when some dude is just fired up. Like the boat ramp's crowded, and there's some guy just like screaming at his wife, and you're like, oh, "Come on, man! Like, dude, really? Like, you need me to get in the truck? You can't do it. She can't. Like, what? Oh, that kills me. Yes, that's exactly right. Oh, what?
Were you talking about Speedos?
Oh.
I got mine right here.
Honestly, as a narwhal, that's what should have been worn. No Vexus. Like, just that.
Shows off his lower back tat, dude.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh no, where's he going now?
Oh no!
Don't really need.
Oh dear God!
Get him out! Get him out! Get him out!
Cautionary measures.
Oh,
He's grabbing a bottle. We're good.
Okay. Man, I was lost. I
thought he was
really
going
thinking he was going full speedo.
Yeah.
Man. But a personal story for myself. One time, let's see. So I had a Dodge, a big. It wasn't. I guess it was just 2500 in college, but I bought an F-150 when I got out of college, and it was lower than the Dodge was, and I was helping a friend. I was like, hey, you can learn how to dump me in. Well, the best way, like if you are having trouble with the mirrors, like lower the tailgate and you'll be able to see the boat. And that worked on the Dodge because it was high enough that if someone was like unexperienced, it wasn't going to run into the boat trailer at all. Well, on the Ford, backing down the ramp, he kind of cut it a little bit tight, and my jack handle went right through the edge of the pickup.
Oh, God.
So, anyways, that was fun on not a brand new pickup, but a pretty new F-150. But,
Ouch.
anyways, that's all I got.
AJ.
Yeah.
Oh my
There's a
gosh.
lot of plumbers out there.
Look at these. Yes. Yes.
Oh, God.
Oh,
That's
Pirelli.
good.
I like
That's
when
good.
people like, why is it only that like bass fishermen like to power load their boats? Like, listen, like I'm a power loader from day one. Like I'm letting it eat, getting it on the trailer. Don't have to like, but then like every other boat, maybe this is just ripping on pleasure boaters and everyone else. But like you got like 3 dudes up there just like really getting on it to crank
70
it. You're
feet
like,
of winch cord.
yeah, it's
Three
like
dudes-
all the
three
way
dudes
out. You're like,
cranking it.
there's no way. Like
3 dudes cranking it, and then like 10 more that have to watch and make sure it got on properly.
you're
And
doing
then-
it.
And
they're
then pull it
not-
up and then back it in and pull it up and back
And they're
it
not
in.
watching from a distance. They have to be like this close. Like everybody's got to like really get in there and like get a good look.
2
at it.
dudes in the water next to the boat holding it steady as he's pulling it out. It's
People to
crooked,
get out.
back it up.
They're just like holding it, and you're like, "What do you? Just hit the throttle.
Like
You get it
it
up there."
really makes me like wonder. Like, are our boats easier to put on the trailer? Like, I
No.
don't.
You
I've
get
I
never
just
power
think we
load.
driven
have
anything else.
cojones and we just like hit it and go. Like I mean I
If-
really do. Like I feel like people are afraid. They're like, oh, like you're gonna ruin your prop. It's like, no, man. Like trim up a little bit, and either way, like it's deep enough on the trailer and go.
By cojones, do you mean IQ points? Like, I don't understand what you mean by that.
I'm
statement.
gonna leave it at cojones.
We can let the Norwal explain. Oh wait, he's no longer a Norwal.
My head was
He turned into
getting
Matt Robertson out of nowhere. Just
my
like
head was getting hot like Pedro. And also, if you'd like to see 3 dudes cranking, go check out Dick Duggett's Instagram.
that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
What about you, Bailey? Go.
Yeah, so there's a lake up here in New York that's called Canisius Lake. Andy knows this, and Joe knows this as well.
Yep.
But in the summertime, this place is like the biggest shit show for pleasure boaters, like in the entire state. And it's not even the biggest lake; it's actually pretty small. And I was out on the water, and I'm coming in to leave, like as people are like. It's more evening time, so like some people that are starting to party and will stay in like the party cove for the night type of thing are launching their boats. And I'm walking, I get off, I'm on the ramp walking back up towards the parking lot. And this guy's backing down a pontoon boat with his Jeep, like just like Grand Cherokee. And he's coming down, backing up. And like I don't see the Jeep stop as it enters, like it's getting through the water. And all I see is his door open and it doesn't stop. And he just like he steps out and casually walks up onto the dock and doesn't put it in park, and the Jeep just keeps going in the water. And it's just like at the point where he turned around, and I knew it was happening the whole time. He turns around as like his like front passenger door and everything were like going underwater, and he just puts his hands on his hips, does nothing, and just sits there and watches
Dude,
his
insurance
whole
fraud.
rig
He knew it.
go underwater.
He knew what he was
Insurance.
doing.
Yeah, that's an insurance job.
No doubt, dude.
He's like, this
Premeditated.
train's gone. I'm drowning her.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have made the whole situation better
Andy,
if he had
you
like
need
a
to
whiskey
do
and a
that.
cig, just watching it burn. Like
My truck is back
like-
in the shop, so
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Andy,
so
go
it was
dump
worse
that
than
thing.
that. It was worse than that. The only thing that was left.
Worse?
The only thing that was left was the grill of the Grand Cherokee sticking out of the water, and I'm just watching this whole thing go down like
First
no
off,
words.
Grand Cherokee.
And
That's
all-
qualified captain status.
It
Oh,
was.
yeah,
I
you
wish
should have got
I
that on
known.
video.
I know. I wish, but
he could have sent it to the insurance company and screwed him.
the part
Not
that
walls
killed me,
eyes.
the part that killed me
Little insurance
was
fraud
when
doesn't hurt anybody.
literally he puts his hands on his hip, and as like the Jeep stops and everyone's just looking at him, he goes, "Well," and then turns around and walks away. I'm like, "What?"
Insurance fraud,
Insurance job,
1,000%, dude.
100%.
Yeah.
Big gulps, huh? We'll see.
that was easily the craziest thing
You
I've
guys
ever
reckon
seen.
this is totaled? Because I think I'm getting a new truck and boat. Let's go.
We're gonna leave her under there for about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Until he thinks about his phone and realizes it's in the council and ruin, and he can't call anyone.
Right. All right, Hayes. I know you've had your days at a boat ramp, but I know you spend a lot of your days in the backwaters and kind of wading through creeks. So I'll keep this question open ended for you in case you've seen some crazier stuff while wading the creeks, because I've
I got
seen
a new one.
some pictures you've had of some crazy
yeah.
shit you found. So feel
Yeah.
free to have an open question here. Let it rip.
So I guess on the boat ramp side of things, like I don't spend too much time on the boat ramps, but I'm the guy that, like, when I go with my buddy that has a boat, I'm the guy that drives it up and power loads it on there, and he just like pulls off and leaves. So I've gotten fairly good at that, and it's funny to watch. Like, I don't have a boat, I've never had a boat, I've probably done that 15 to 20 times in my whole life, and if I'm better than you at doing it, like, then we got a problem with these guys that actually own a boat. And you see it all the time where they're like miss 12 times and come back and try and load up again. I saw a not small lady last year, the guy
Politically correct. Very kind of you.
yes, the guy was same thing, right? It's like yelling at her, just hold on to the effing boat. So he gives her the rope. So he says basically, just do not let go of the rope, and I'm going to park the truck and I'll be back. So she's sitting there on the dock, and they're taking up the whole lane to pull up. So I'm just sitting there in the boat idling because my buddy's waiting to back down, but we can't do anything because her self are taking up the whole boat ramp. And so we're sitting there, and she has the rope in her hand, so nothing can go wrong. But the boat starts to drift away, and she panics, and so she goes over and tries to put 1 foot on the boat and 1 foot on the dock and bring it back. And again, all you got to do is take that rope and pull back. And so she pulls it, and it starts, you just watch it in slow motion, like start to do the splits, and she goes right in the middle. She could have bailed one way or the other, but fine, she goes right in the water, and he comes back, and it's like screaming World War III times 10, because all she had to do was literally hold on to the rope, and she fell in, and she's all mad because she's wet. But it's the craziest thing that happened, the craziest thing that's ever happened to me, like in general, this is, swear goodness, a true story. So this was maybe 2 years ago, and I weighed a bunch of water that's around like downtown. It's like urban water, a lot of homeless people, a lot of trash, a lot of everything. And so I'm wading the river downtown. This is, again, like I think 2 springs ago. And I'm walking in the water, and then I go to step on what is like a tree that is floated down the river, and it's on the bank now. So I go to step up on that tree and then jump to the next tree. And there's probably like a 3 or 4 foot gap between these trees. And there's a bunch of trash and stuff in it, and it's disgusting. But I go to jump, and I miss, and I fall in between the 2 trees on what I thought was a pile of trash. And so I get up, my whole body weight goes on this thing, and I get up back on the tree, and then that piece of trash that I fell on starts moving. No, even worse. Starts moving.
Live body.
Hobo. I fell on a hobo. I just straight up like curb stomped a hobo in between 2 trees, and I like get up there, and it starts moving, and it starts making this kind of like brrr sound, and I look.
Cut me out.
And this guy is on a different planet. There's like 12 steel reserve cans around him and everything, and he just kind of like looks up at me and doesn't even like say an English word, and just kind of like grunts, and then goes right back to like sleep. I was like, okay. So I just jumped on a hobo downtown.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What a wild ride.
That should be on your resume.
Yeah.
Hobo jump.
Hobo.
Once have jumped on a hobo.
Yeah.
Still alive today.
Yeah. So that's the thing. This hobo still lives under that same bridge. I'm assuming it's the same one. There's one there every single time I go by now. So I think it might still be him. So glad he's doing well.
He was all up in his living room.
No joke.
I Kool-Aid manned right through his living room wall.
Oh yeah.
Good grief.
It's actually
We seem to have lost John, but I have never heard a story like that, Andrew. That was.
Oh, no.
You need to do more urban wading. We'll have a bunch of those.
Everybody look at John's new name.
I love the fam at the end of it. That's good.
Bam. All right, I think this one I might be most intrigued for because I don't know, just notoriously Louisiana is a crazy state for the folk down there. Just I'm curious, Zach. Well, what are some of the craziest things you've seen, either down there or in Michigan at boat ramps or through your kayak adventures?
Well, you'd be surprised. It's really not that interesting. me and Ben Nowak were fishing up in Michigan in April, and we went to dock the boat, and we was waiting on some people to get out of our way, and they were trying to power load an old deep V aluminum boat and ran it off the trailer, and the skeg was the only thing that caught it on the cement. And it was a younger guy showing an older guy the boat, letting him run it that day because he was interested in buying it. And it took us forever I got down in the water, tried to help him push it back up on there, and winched it up on there. And by the time we got it back up on there, he was like, well, it was a good boat, but I don't want to buy it now. So, so I was like, dang, poor guy missed out on the sale because they didn't strap it up there. Wasn't the best boat to try to power load and take off in. It was very ass heavy, but yeah, I don't have too many crazy stories from the ramp, to be honest.
That's funny.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Drunkwood should sponsor Dick Duckett.
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's where I want to spend my money and time.
Yeah. This is a smart business decision, man.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
All right, let's keep this train rolling. Bateman, you're next, buddy.
Man, I don't know if I have that many crazy stories. Really, actually, mine really probably don't involve loading boats and stuff. Mine involve I film, Menendez and stuff. That's my side gig. We get some really silly questions at the boat ramp.
Feel free to let it rip.
Go ahead,
let
John.
Let her rip, dude. Let her rip.
I mean, it's basically it's basically the Bill Engvall show when you're the
power pole questions.
I'll be sitting there in the boat, I'm getting my camera gear out. I mean, it's not like I'm filming with the DSLR, which those are great to film with, but I have a really big Sony EX3 camera. It's it's nice professional grade and all that. And it never fails. I'll be up there, and Jim Joe or whatever his name will walk up. Y'all filming a TV show? No, I just got this sumbitch right here for the hell of it,
Yeah, right.
and then it said, oh, look at Mark, and they stare all down at the baits, and he's got tied on, and well, what they biting on? Well, we'll find out. And what's really interesting is people seem to think these Elite Series pros are like a traveling service trailer too. It's like, hey, I got a question about my Yamaha, and it's not idling good or some other BS, something common. And Mark's just like, I don't know. I just take mine in the service trailer. Or, I got that panty optics, on my boat. And, what's the best settings for this? Turns into a 45-minute deal. And we had one guy got all into this, and Mark's super nice, and he's guy had Panoptics, and Mark says, well, he basically says, no matter where he points, he can't see what he's looking at. And he basically says, I know there's a brush pile by this dock, and I can't see it. But Mark says, you got your boat with you? And the guy's like, yeah. And the guy brings it up there. Mark looks at it and goes, well, I found your problem. I was like, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah, your transducer's mounted backwards. So this dude is trying to scan in front of him, and it's pointing behind the boat the whole time.
So just scanning the boat the whole time.
And he goes
in the hall,
and he's just like, I never thought that. I'm like, dude, as soon as I brought that boat home and looked, I think I would notice if the transducer was backwards or not.
You can see the motor.
That's because he's all wrapped up in the panty optics.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Pig Control. That was good.
That's more proof that just because you have the technology doesn't mean that you'll be effective.
Yeah.
You can spend all the money in the world. If you can't use it, it don't fucking matter.
Yeah, so that would be like my counterpoint to every Randy Blockett video ever. That you can spend all that money you want, and you can have the greatest technology known to man. And you can, one, suck at fishing like me, or
We're
two, if you
so
don't
getting canceled.
Yeah. Dude, I like
It was
Randy.
a good run, guys.
I got Randy's back too, by the way. Two, again, if you don't know what you're doing and if you're not around the fish, all that stuff really doesn't matter. You can have all these freaking baits. I mean, most of them stay in the package, so it doesn't really matter anyway over here. But it's just,
I will say on this Randy Blockett topic that I love how he posts his topics he does, and it's so strategic, you can tell. And he doesn't comment back to a single person.
So smart.
Yeah.
And that's
Dude
like
has
the funniest
thick
thing to me.
Keeps you alive.
I think he I low-key think he just enjoys watching people squirm that he doesn't respond back. And he just sits there laughing at their comments. And that theory alone just makes me respect the hell out of him.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest. I've said this before. At first, I would get he'd roll me the fuck up really bad. And I'd get on Facebook and be like, God damn it, Randy. You know.
Damn it, Randy.
He got me.
Yeah, got my ass again. But if I think outside the box, what he's doing is really genius. One, he's starting a lot of conversation.
Oh, for sure.
He does get out there on some topics, you know, like, hey, why it's better to free ball when you're out bass fishing.
Yeah.
Never thought of that, you know.
That's the one.
Did you know Randy Blockett posed nude for like a low budget Playgirl magazine like in the early 90s?
Oh God!
Like he was just like this with the meat hanging out. A lot of people don't know
King,
that.
do you have any background in this?
No, I was told this by another Elite Series pro that it was a big deal. Like,
Wait. What in Talladega Nights? What did he say? Mike Honcho. What did he go by the name of Mike Honcho?
I don't know. I think it was just Randy.
Full spread.
I spread my butt cheeks for Playgirl.
You went straight party boy, but nude.
Yes.
The true
Did a
story
full
behind that was
spread.
they did a professional shot for Blockett, right? And his shorts were so short, like his nut was hanging out, and then they published it, and they had to take them all off. Like I can't remember what podcast I heard that on, but that was a true story. As he did this professional photo shoot, and his balls were hanging out.
Oh, God.
I think that's Patrick Walters.
No, it wasn't Walters, but that is a true story. That like there is some photos out somewhere where his nuts are hanging out.
Well, if they're out there, someone will find them. One of whom, do your job.
I just always heard that it was basically just out there for everybody to see, and it's no big deal. But anyway,
It's no big deal.
I think Randy has really thick
No big deal.
skin. You very rarely see him argue with anybody in the comments on YouTube or Facebook, so he knows what he's doing. But he is not afraid to put it out there. Like, whether you agree, disagree, he puts it out there. And, dude, he's putting more content out there than almost anybody. Now, granted, driving down the interstate with your kids in the back of your vehicle while filming a YouTube video, I do not recommend. There are places that is wanton endangerment in like 48 states.
You know, I'm waiting for the one day that he gets like pulled over doing it, and I hope he blogs about it.
I can't wait to see the title.
Got pulled over while filming with my kids in the back seat.
Why cops are ruining your
Almost
fishing.
died.
Why believing in aliens will make you a better bass fisherman?
Right.
Child
No
endangerment?
surprises
Question
anymore.
mark.
Yeah.
Well, after that topic, let's move on to our
Yeah,
buddy,
my bad, guys. My
number
bad.
one fan. No, you're good, Kev. Actually, that was a good topic.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was great. That's
John,
for the
take us
balls.
away.
Also, Bateman, I need you to do me a favor. I've been trying with Bailey and then also Mercer. I want to get the rumor started that Menendez was actually a former member of the boy band Menudo, but was kicked out because of his provocative gyrations while dancing at the age of 13.
I can help with that.
All right, dude, do me a favor and do that, please.
So here, speaking of Menendez, I'll be a little awkward here. So I love the dude.
Perfect for this show.
I love the dude. He's a great guy. He seriously is one of my childhood heroes. So I feel really lucky to be able to do what I do with him. But man, I'll be filming all the time, and his AFCO pants, like the inseam has to be the shortest ever, and I'll just pull the camera, like get a wide shot, and it's just a fucking yoga pants ass, and I'm like, dude, you gotta adjust your pants. I don't need to see a wedgie. But sometimes I can't help it. I'm like, I wonder if people watching this TV show go, man, I bet he works out.
Squat for days.
I could probably find some screenshots pretty easily.
We're gonna clip that and tag Mark on social media.
That is fantastic.
Oh my God, Dumb and Dumber comes to mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet he
Who
works.
knew
must work
Menendez had a
out.
dump truck out of nowhere. Man.
Look at the butt on that.
Yeah,
My boat ramp story is actually on me. So I was going to fish a Kentucky Bass Championship, and I was pre-fishing. And where do you hold the Kentucky Bass Federation Championship when you live in Kentucky? On the motherfucking Ohio River. is
Oh,
when you
God.
hold it. And so my truck was shitty starting, and then I drove down there and backed up my expensive ass boat in the water, and after a day of fishing, I went and got my truck, and it wouldn't turn over, so my battery had died. So I had someone jump me, and so I had to keep my truck running the whole time while I got my boat because I didn't want it, shut off. So I back it up and I jump in my boat and I'm back up there getting ready to run it up there, and I look at my truck and I'm like, that's funny. This white light shouldn't be on. And I was like, is that the glare from the sun? No, I had kept my truck in reverse and threw on the parking brakes. So it was on the ramp. My truck was in reverse with the parking brakes while I was loading my boat. And thankfully the brakes stopped it from doing anything, and I loaded it and it was just like, holy shit. So yeah.
How about calling your own fuck up?
Oh yeah, that was all on me. Yeah.
Thank God you had a good parking brake.
Yes.
Yeah,
No joke.
Dude,
Could have been a qualified captain.
Yeah, dude, mine's non-existent because I pulled off the boat ramp so many times, forgetting to undo the parking brake. I don't even have one anymore. If I set the parking brake on, I'd be in the water before I got the door open.
Sure.
It wouldn't even stay.
typical Joe fashion.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a hot mess. You guys know it. Come on. All I can do is fish well. The rest of my life, hot mess.
Who else falls off the dock on St. Lawrence River into the lake?
So, is it my turn now? Should I go? Hot mess
let her
boat
rip.
ramp story?
Let's
So,
go.
only Andrew and Adam have heard the story. I'll give the shortest version I can. So, I get to the St. Lawrence River first day of the Bass Open about an hour early because I wake up way before my alarm. I'm so excited. I back the boat in at French Creek, which is the darkest marina on Earth. It also has the shortest docks on Earth. So I forget my boat when I pull it into this boat slip. The dock only goes to my graphs. So I get out the front deck, I run to the boat ramp, I park my truck, I run back with arms full of stuff, and I walk right off the end of the dock. So I am the dock idiot because I was going to walk and jump down onto the back deck. No, there's no, you can't reach the back deck from the French Creek docks. And I start first day of the Bass Open on America's #1 fishery by going header 3, and they're 3 feet high, easy 3.5 feet off the water, header, arms full of stuff, never touch bottom, walk, try to get out of the water, gasping for air like a moron. That's how I start day one. But that's not even my craziest boat ramp story of the year. Nor is my craziest boat ramp story of the year. I saw AJ Pirelli and Mike Zamp in the comments section up here. It's not at Latins Cove at stinking Candlewood Lake, which I have seen. Dude, I wish some days I wish I drank beer for a living because you could sit there on a Saturday and just kill it. I've seen guys unhook off of their Mercedes, their jet ski trailer with their fake tanner on, curl their jet ski trailer and walk it down the ramp because they couldn't get it down straight. Still not my best story of the year. This year, my best story, and it's only my best story because it involved me, is I slid on the St. Lawrence River at Key Waden Park in between, because I can actually back up a trailer, in between two cigarette boats, like 50-foot cigarette boats. Managed to squeeze my trailer in between them on a 2-trailer ramp, like 2-3 trailer ramp, but these guys couldn't back up a 50-foot trailer. I squeeze mine in between, and I get my boat on my trailer, like, just ahead of both of them. And, like, I realize it's not quite straight, so I, like, hop down off the tongue. I start the motor back up. And this is, like, as both of these guys, like 2 frat dudes from Penn State roll up on either side of me, right? And it's, like, real creepy. I'm like, oh, God. Like, I was, like, nervous for my rear end, right? So
You
I'm
almost
like...
got Sandusky.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Okay.
So I think to myself, like, do I wait till they're on the, because they have like 50-foot cigarette boats, right? Like 2 like twin diesels on the back. They're probably both cranking like 1,500 horsepower. I'm like, do I let them put their boats on the trailer, or do I like show them how it's done? Like, I already like half messed it up. Like, I had to climb back into the boat and like kind of back it up and put it back on. Yeah, I kind of like slid it on a little too crooked, right? So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna fuck with these guys. So I gun it, dude, and I washed them both whoop, over their freaking tires on their trailer, and they're both stuck there. And the girl I was dating at the time pulls me off the ramp, and we just drive away. Well, both of them are cursing me out. I'm like, keep going, honey. Like, don't pull up and stop. Like, keep driving me out of here before these guys kill me. That's my best boat ramp story of the year. When I got to mess with 2 frat dudes who looked like they were from Penn State and put them both on their wheel wells. It was the best day of my life.
Nice. Typical Joe fashion.
I had to, dude. Like, because I don't know. I can't help it. I'm argumentative and combative and Italian and annoying. Like, I can't help it. It's just in my genes. Like, at least I'm self-aware. Like,
all right. Well, if no one else has a topic to go down, I have the next segment here is to talk about tournament horror stories. If any of you
besides
guys
falling off the dock?
Besides every single one of Joe's tournaments, we can go around the room and talk about tournament horror stories.
I have a good one.
Go, Dick, go. Or Dick,
go. So I was fishing a tournament down in Cumberland, and we went down a couple days early to pre-fish, and I was fishing with a buddy of mine, and first couple days pre-fishing was awesome. We were just laying into fish, catching them. And then
Caught too many.
Day. Huh?
You caught too many in practice.
No. That's not the point of the story. But when I go on vacation, my system isn't regular. So, like, I went 2 days without
Metamucil.
And we come tournament day, and we start fishing, and we're down at Holcomb's Landing. So if you know Cumberland, we start fishing just kind of there in the first cut. And I catch a couple 2 fish real quick, and then I hear the rumbling. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I tell,
literally.
I tell my buddy, I was like, Mark. And this is the same guy that was the co-angler when Ish and what's his name got in that big fight. So he was the co-angler of the boat.
Was it Keith Poche?
Keith Poche, yeah.
Yeah, Keith Poche. So I was like, Mark, I got to go. And he's like, are you freaking serious? I was like, yeah, man, I just got to go. So he puts me off on bank, and I do my business. And I look up, and he's 75 yards down the bank. And I'm talking like a steep bank. So he's 75 yards down, and I yell at him. I said, hey, man, I'm done. He goes, okay, run over here. I go, what? He goes, I ain't coming to pick your ass up. So he made me run like through the woods to come meet the boat after I'd just taken a shit and refused to come get me. And it was super steep. That was long story. Yeah, it sucks.
Oh gosh.
All right, in the spirit of calling ourselves out here, I'll go next. And so I signed up. It was actually this past fall. I signed up for. There's actually a video of it on our YouTube channel of me sleeping in my kayak on the water. But I signed up for a state championship last minute and decided to. My fiance had a formal the night before. And I was like, oh, I'll go. I'll have a few drinks. I'll be there, have a good time. And I can still get up in the morning and go make this tournament. No practice, no nothing. And lo and behold, we all know how we say, like, we're only going to have a few drinks. You know how that goes.
12 drinks later.
Lo and behold, night ends, wake up the next morning, drive down, feel okay, and get to the boat ramp, get the kayak all rigged up, and I'm walking it down. And I had essentially the same rumbling that John had, just the wrong end, the complete other end. And had to take care of business for a few minutes and was so hungover fishing that I had to take a 30-45 minute nap on the water in the kayak.
Lifesaver.
Yeah, but still fish for the rest of the day. I sucked, but we pulled through. But yeah, so in the spirit of calling ourselves out,
You can rally to
go
the
next.
Dude,
I'll go next.
Go ahead.
So while we're on this poo track,
Mine was not poo. Mine was not poo.
well, front or back track, I should say. Like 8 or 9 years ago, I was fishing the Derby as a co-angler on Chautauqua Lake. And we're about 2 hours in.
Oh my
God! I was a co-angler, and I looked at my guy, we're about 3 miles from the boat ramp. I was like, dude, we got 5 minutes.
Stop. Andy, pause. Dick Nugget's wearing the thong. The fan guy.
Rewind the tape.
John.
You're going to get banned.
I'm
Banana exciting.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
I completely missed everything that just happened.
Just wait.
That was
for
the
John
subtlest
King.
thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That man just took off walking in a banana hammock.
That's so sneaky.
I wasn't paying attention, damn it.
Like 5 of us started flipping. Oh.
Best comment of the night.
By far. Oh man.
Oh god.
Good
for you, John. That was that's going to Instagram, right?
Oh man.
Screenshot.
That
He's
was
like, it's not the worst the
hashtag.
internet has seen of me.
Hashtag.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of Speedo photos if you go about 9 years.
He's got an OnlyFans somewhere.
You put him next to Randy, like those two.
Yeah, Hayes, support small businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. All right, Andy, take it away.
All right, well, the beginning of the story was having a McDonald's sausage, egg, and cheese like McGriddle in the morning, and I had 2 of them. And after the first bite, and I was like, "This tastes bad," and I decided to eat both of them. And like 2 hours later, I got the rumble guts, and I was like, "Dude, we got to go back to the ramp because I'm about to poo all over the place." So we go back to the ramp, and literally, the guy was like, "Good call." We both ran into the bathroom at the same time, just like exploded everywhere because I think he went to the same McDonald's. We both looked at each other and we're like, "Did this just happen?" He's like, "God, I hope I can make it the rest of the day. I just didn't want to say I had to go poo without some like reassurance." So like, I think we both stopped like 2 or 3 times through that day from like food poisoning from McDonald's. Yeah, he ended up winning the tournament on like the last 5 casts. I think I came in like 3rd or 4th. It was wild.
With the tummy bubbles.
With the tummy bubbles. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Like
Nice.
we strategically stayed close to the ramp all day so we could just run back and just like tie off, run up, and go. Because there's this beautiful like bathroom at Long Point State Park where you can literally tie your boat up to the ramp and walk into the bathroom right there.
I feel like you're actually chumming and using this as a cover-up story.
It could have been chum, but no, it wasn't. We literally ran into that.
Bailey was chumming.
I wasn't.
Jeez.
We're so getting canceled for this show.
Dude. All right. Once I ever started talking, I thought of like my best on the water story, and this is like told so many times over because I just like it's too crazy to realize that it's fake, or that it wasn't fake. Right?
Yeah,
That it called his own bluff. It's fake.
It's actually fake, guys. No. So we're fishing this 2-day club derby on our local lake here in Colorado, Horseshoes. So like that should be the first thing. It's like, oh well, there's some crazy people in Colorado. So anyways, we're in the back of this cut. It's like pre-spawn, and these smallies are loaded on this point. I mean loaded. We took second in the derby, and we're sitting there throwing jerk baits, and it is like every cast. I mean, we are spanking them. And we like look over, and it's like a nice April day, like early April. Well, it's very cold. And we look over, and there's like this people like hiking. There's all these like trails, and it's like this lake is like in the mountains kind of. And this lady comes by with her husband and like a baby and what looks like her mother-in-law or something like that. And you're like, this is kind of an interesting situation. All right. Well, this is my college buddy Stu. We're like college tournament partners, and we're fishing this local derby, and we are absolutely wearing them out. And this like couple with their baby comes up, and they're again like mother-in-law or some older lady behind them, and they're like, "Hey, do you care if we jump in?" I like look down at my graph. I'm like, yeah, like I mean, the water temp's 45, but like, yeah, sure, like go for it, whatever you want. Like we're like milling around, and we're back to fishing, and my buddy Stu just looks at me like, and he's just like, dude, and he's like starts to laugh. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, she's naked. She's 100% naked. I'm like, no, you're lying. Like, dude, like we're like 25 feet from these people. Like we're not very far from these people. And I like turn back, and this lady is straight up full born, like daylight. It's like 10 in the morning, completely naked, like bush, like just ridiculous. Like we're just like Stu and I are like still to this day are like, what happened? Like literally, like her mother-in-law is just like watching, and then like her husband's in a swimsuit, like holding the baby, and you're like, who are these people? And that was anyways, that was the second day of the derby.
That's pretty intense.
It's crazy, man. Like I still to this day am like laugh about it. It's crazy.
Do you go back to that same bay anytime you return to that lake just to check if she's still there?
First
I go
spot
back
he
every
goes to.
spring.
Yeah,
My girlfriend doesn't know. I go back every spring, and I'm just like walking around and boating around and what have it.
She knows now.
Just like crossing his fingers as he's driving there. He's like, come on.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, he's gonna
Tomorrow's
roll up
the
with
day.
a buddy, be like, "Dude, I know this good brush pile on this point over here. We gotta go check it out."
No, it's a bush pile. It's a good bush pile.
I gotta go
We
flip it. I
gonna
gotta go
plant
flip over there
some
once
bushes
or
for a little
twice.
while.
Oh, that's good. All right, Kev, you're up.
I don't think I have anything that cool. I mean, obviously I got some poop stories, but
You wouldn't be a grown man if you don't.
I will say, back in the day when I did fish quite a bit and owned a boat, I got really, really pissed off at a BFL wild card and a co-angler. And it wasn't really entirely his fault. But long story short, this was at Pickwick Lake, and I believe 2000, I have to remember the girl I was dating.
Bailey, put that comment up.
It was about 2006, before Pickwick got like super, super popular and overfished. Wow.
Gotta have it ready. Emergencies only.
But I had a pretty good practice at Pickwick, and this is before it blew up, and it took 22 to 24 pounds a day. And it was in the fall, and it was the first year the Reaction Innovations Vixen came out. And so I had practice, and I found some fish in Yellow Creek, and they were just chewing this thing. But it was like a 50-mile run from the Alabama side for Florence. So I found a few fish up near the dam, and I started on these schooling fish, and I caught 3 or 4, and then my trolling motor wouldn't come up. And I'm like, oh, hell, no need to panic. I brought a toolkit, granted, I'm not the most mechanical person. I think I can fix this. And so my co-angler's back there. He's just whining like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. I can't fish all day. And I always get terrible draws. And just kind of, making some passive-aggressive stuff. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I've never had this happen, blah, blah, blah. And he just kind of keeps chirping, whatever. So I finally get pissed. And I'm like, well, dude, you can either keep dragging whatever you're dragging out here in the river channel, or you could try to help me fix this, and we can get on your day. And he's like, so he puts his rod down, and I've got my socket set and wrench right here, and I finally find it's a bitch to get this thing, unlatch. And he's kind of grumbling or something. I said, why don't you get that net out of the way? We don't really need it right now. And he does this Mick Foley twist turn that's so awkward, and he knocks all my fucking tools into the lake.
Oh.
And he's like, what was that? And I'm like, that was my tools going to the bottom of Pickwick Lake. And he's like, well, what am I going to do now? And I just lost it. I'm like, what do you mean, what are you going to do? You're a fucking co-angler. Pardon my French, I shouldn't say that. What am I going to do? My trolling motor is stuck. Luckily, I drove back to the ramp, and I hit a barge weight, and it just sheared that sumbitch in half. And the service crew was nice enough to replace my trolling motor for free for me.
Wow.
Because it was under warranty. So I got about 2 hours of fishing in, and I'll end up with 3 keepers.
Wait, did you say there's a service crew at your BFLs?
Yes, at the BFL Wildcard back in the day, there was service crews.
Dang.
How old are you? 20?
35?
Yeah, well, I'm 36, so this was 2006, so that's 16 years ago. But yeah, they had a small service crew, but yeah, they took care of it.
In a kayak back then.
Yeah, it's all good. But
all right,
yeah, I felt bad for treating that guy like that. But man, it just put me in a bad situation because I want to get this thing fixed. I want to fish. He's back here oh, this is ruining my day. And when he said that I always get draws like this, I'm like, yeah, I may suck, but I'm a pretty nice guy.
Screw that.
Sounds like he was being a chode.
Yeah. Yeah. He had his jersey on.
Oh no.
I remember it was bright yellow and green. It was like one of those real snot jerseys you see all over Facebook. It was awful.
Yikes. Okay, better question. Who the hell has the cat?
That's my gosh damn neighbors again.
You live on a zoo?
I live next to the Clampetts, evidently.
In the background.
I hope they don't watch this stream, which I doubt, because I asked them, I said, is y'all's internet working? The other day, I said, is y'all's internet working? They said, well, we got the internet, but we don't know if it's working. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know if it's working? Well, we don't ever use it. And I'm like, well, why have the internet if you're not going to use it? But anyway. The only damage my neighborhood really took was his halfway done lean-to shed fell apart, which probably a good thing because it would have decreased the property value. I'm sorry.
All I can hear is it meow in the background.
It's either it's either pissed it's outside or it's some bitch is horny from listening to Andy and Adam's stories over there.
Knows John's in a banana hammock, bro.
Oh my gosh.
In the words of Prince, someone needs pussy control.
We're getting canceled. This is great.
Yeah.
We might as well cancel it. Close it down.
No, we're gonna ride it out. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Chris, I see Chris Jones' comment. For some reason, I listened to a girl get railed for hours in a party cove one night. Chances are that was by more than one dude if it was for hours.
No, listen. So what he's talking about there? We've got a tournament here.
Deacon knows the background.
I was like, so anyway.
Sounds like it was a lot of watching, not listening. If you know the whole story.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, exactly. But,
both go hand in hand, you know.
Listen, so we have this tournament called the Full Moon Open, and it's like a night tournament, right? Well, Horsetooth has a party cove. It's very famous, and that's probably what he's talking about. He probably was. There's some good fishing near Party Cove and in Party Cove, and that's probably what he ran into.
We need to have some advisory or something on this podcast.
Yeah, you need to put a parental advisory.
Yeah. You know the ratings on YouTube when you upload a video? This one's going as far as we can go.
It's screwed.
All the sponsors at the bottom are censored, like blacked out.
Yeah, we probably.
Yeah, I would take those sponsors off. We got a good call.
Yeah, I apologize to your sponsors, Bailey.
Yikes! Well, it's a new year, boys. That's what we're celebrating. But I think let's just keep the ball rolling here.
We'll take the
controversy sells, so it's whatever the next topic is. It's got to be a banger.
Right.
Is this when we choose Dave Mercer or Luke Duncan? Is that when?
No, we're not doing that. Abort. We'll be explicit, but we ain't going down that.
I love them both.
I'm not going to pick sides on that deal.
We didn't hear from Hayes though, and he had such a good round last round. I feel like
Tournament
it's going to be hard to
It
top
doesn't
the
have
Hobo.
to be tournament though. Like, dude,
I've got some tournament stories. So, because we fish we don't fish big tournaments, but we fish like backwoods Tuesday night or just hillbilly opens basically on like your Tuesday nights. So I used to do that quite a bit, and I'd say the two from there. The very first one, we fish out of the boat that we fish out of. My buddy Jeff has the boat, and it's called a Playtime Predator is the name and model of the boat. It's like it's an old bright blue, just terrible. I mean, it gets the job done. I actually
Are you sure that's a boat, bud?
Yeah, it's called.
I think you buy that at the novelty store.
The company name
that's Alexis Vexus's boat.
Dude, you can look it up. It was an Ohio company, and the company's name was Playtime, and they named the boat the Predator 13 or whatever. So it literally says on the side Playtime Predator. But yes, I can't make that up.
No, I'm not gonna look it up. Never mind.
That's terrifying.
Don't Google Playtime.
Is it battery powered?
You might get like FBI question on that one.
Yeah. So that's the boat we use. It's bright blue.
I feel like Google already knows we're all in trouble already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have Playtime.
The FBI's watching
ads popping up on Instagram.
Anyway, let Hayes go. I gotta hear this.
So it's a real old bright blue boat. It doesn't turn over more than it does turn over. Like it's just it's a rough go. And so we get it all tuned up. Yeah. We're ready to go. It's a shock. It's just like a all take off at once. The old guy stands on his boat and yells go, and there's not even like a fire or anything. It's literally just some old guy, looks like a mall Santa, stands up on his boat and yells go, and then all the boats go wherever they want. And so we do that. There's like 15 boats that Tuesday night. They all take off. We go to throttle and and it just dies. And so everybody leaves us in a giant wake of nothing, and our outboard was dead for the entire time. And so we had to fish like a 5-hour tournament with nothing but a trolling motor. And we still got like third place that event, just paddling around like the marina. And then like 2 weeks before that, we had one. It was a morning one. And my buddy's got this real old trolling motor that's on the front that gets stuck if you leave it there overnight. And so I'm up there getting my rod from behind him, and he doesn't know I'm behind him. And he goes to pull up the trolling motor like he's trying to start like a 30-year-old lawnmower for the first time, and he comes back and the cord breaks and he punches me right in the face just first thing in the morning. And I just I was in shock, and I start bleeding all over the boat, all over his bright blue interior, and it's just like double nose everywhere. So I have to lean over the side of the boat and like spit it and like get it out so that it stops bleeding all over his boat. And that's how we started the morning, was me. That was the hardest I've ever been punched in my entire life too, and it was right in the face. And then the other one, the only other one I can think of is I did a local kayak tournament, and it was like I don't know, that thing where you do it on like an app and you register your fish on the app and Tourney X and stuff like that. It was one of the first times I'd ever done one, and I didn't really know all the rules. I knew most of the rules, like I looked up how to measure your fish and take your pictures and stuff. Well, I'm by myself on this river that's probably an average of 2.5 or 3 foot deep. It's nothing. You could wade it if you wanted to, but you had to be in a kayak for the tournament. And this guy comes down the river, and I'm by myself, so I'm not doing a float. I'm just on a part of the river, and this old guy comes down in like probably a $2,000 kayak, big beard, portly looking guy, and he comes out and he's like, "Are you fishing in the tournament today?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." Like, he's like, "You doing any good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually doing pretty good." It was like a 3-fish smallmouth tournament. I think I had like 3 that were probably an average of 15 or 16 inches, so I was doing okay. And he goes, "Well, I hate to tell you, but it's not going to count." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "I don't see a life jacket on your kayak anywhere." I was like, "Yeah, I don't have one. It's like 2 foot deep here." He's like, "That's an automatic DQ." He was the tournament director, and he DQ'd me right there and just completely disabled my little profile to upload pictures of like the fishes, and I was done.
Aww.
Right there. I was like, dude, it's knee deep. The only place I'm fishing, I got DQ'd for not having a life jacket by the tournament director.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Speaking of kayaks, I really have nothing against kayak anglers, but man, those Facebook groups, the kayak groups, some bitches getting wild.
God.
Don't join
Zach
them.
knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, some of it's a bunch of high school bullshit that is just so stupid, and some like about 10% of it is like legitimate arguments.
Sounds like trout fishing too.
Yeah.
It's dumb, dude.
What are they arguing about?
Everything.
Everything. Yep.
They hate every YouTuber other than Christine Fisher. Live scope, motors. It's like, you know how people like bash Ranger boats, which, whatever. It's every brand, Hobie, Bonafide, whatever. They're all pieces of shit. If you got any kind of sponsorship, you're a sellout or all that. And then you get these dudes like this guy, and I'm not gonna mention his name because he probably doesn't deserve it, but randomly like 2 weeks ago, he just posts sends me a message, says you're a bitch. I'm like, what the like out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
his
I remember
name,
that in the
but
text.
I remember that happening.
What did that end up being about? Why were you singled out?
He apologized, said I'm having a rough day, and I totally didn't read what you were saying. I'm like, okay. What? Like, it was like threatening my life, and I'm like, man, this is kind of awkward, but man,
sorry, having a bad day.
Yeah, obviously.
That's what I do when I'm having a bad day too.
I find someone
Find
random
someone.
on a Facebook group and just say I'm going to kill them.
I just troll them like
Yeah.
you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I just, I totally
weird.
respect the kayak deal. I think it's really cool what a lot of those guys are doing, but I just, and he's talking about getting DQ'd. It's always something. Like, it never feels like a tournament runs really smooth. I think that the Hobie series does a really good job, but you've got like
Oh yeah.
a KBF event, and it's like Chad Hoover's fat and I don't like him. I'm mad I finished 10th. This guy should be DQ'd because his boots didn't go up to his knees or something.
And he only put deodorant
Can I
on one
interject here real
armpit,
fast?
Go ahead, Andrew.
I was fishing a tournament on Soda Spade. I'm pretty sure I texted.
Get the hell out of here.
I'm sure I texted Bailey about this. No, this isn't anything to do with you. Literally, this kayaker was yelling at another kayaker who was fishing the derby with a bobber and minnows on like a shipwreck. And he's like, dude, did you read the rules? He's like, what rules? I thought we were fishing a tournament for the best 5 fish. And he was fishing live bait in a no live bait tournament.
Yeah.
I do
That's
recall
jacked
that.
up.
He had this big like Coleman red and white cooler with an aerator going, and he was pulling
No
out
way.
minnows.
Oh,
I thought you were about to talk about you and I going bumper boats.
Oh, dude, that was so much fun.
hey,
The day I met Forrest.
Yeah.
this is
Carry
a true
on, Becky.
story since it's story time. John might know this guy. John, have you fished around Kentucky Lake much? Or Dick Duckett's #1 fan?
Yeah, a little bit, but not too much, to be honest.
So there's a local guy here that's a really good angler. His name's Tim Griggs. He's a great guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of Tim, but
Tim Griggs, no.
He's really dry. Well, several years ago, he got on the spring smallmouth like you wouldn't believe. Like he was catching 22, 24-pound bags of smallmouth. First BFL of the year, he draws co-angler. This co-angler catches 19 pounds of smallmouth behind him. And Tim catches like 22, wins the BFL. The next day, he goes back fun fishing, take like his wife or somebody. His co-angler sitting there in a john boat and a cooler, catching the smallmouth and throwing them in the cooler to eat.
No.
True story.
That's nuts.
What?
God.
Was that on Kentucky or Barkley?
That was on Kentucky. Back when we actually had some fish.
Oh.
That man's been shot on sight.
I mean, what do you do though? I mean, obviously, you get pissed off, but the guys fishing BFLs, they can't blackball him. I mean, you buy a fishing license, you can, keep anything. But I thought, man, out of all the things to do, that might be one of the worst things I've ever heard about.
He couldn't get enough dead fish at the weigh-in, the day before.
This was in March, so.
Yeah, but I mean, there still had to be like 2 or 3 that got tongue hooked. Like, come on.
I don't know, man. He just went back and just made a buffet of all these smallmouth.
Yikes!
Ugh.
Big yikes!
That's wild.
So speaking of dead, I wanted to change the topic. I know Alex Rudd did a real quick podcast on this. Has anyone ever found anyone dead when you're fishing?
Andrew Hayes almost did. He jumped on a hobo.
Close.
When you guys are done, I do have 2 stories where I was about 30 minutes late finding dead people twice, but I didn't find it. I was late.
So I got a call. I fished a tournament on Green River, and a buddy of mine called me. He never calls. He's a hard guy to get a hold of. He goes, "You won't believe this story." So we have this creek near Lexington, Kentucky, that's really good for smallmouth called Elkhorn. And so he took his family out there, and when you take little kids fishing, he kind of got tired of it. He was like, "All right, I'm going to show these guys some dam and get them in the hell out." So he's got a john boat with I think about a 45 or 50 on it. Drives up towards the dam at Elkhorn, and he sees what he thinks is a watermelon floating. And he's like,
watermelon.
Oh, shit. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh shit, I think that's the body." And so instead of saying something to his family, he's like, "All right, I'm going to get my family out of here and take them home, because if they see this dead body, the kids are going to freak out, be scarred for life." So he goes about 3 miles downriver to take out. Well, he's not paying attention and hits a fucking log. And his wife jokingly goes, "Did you hit a dead body or something?" And he's like, "No." So he drops him off, calls his buddy. His buddy comes down. He takes his buddy up there to double check 100% that it's a dead body. They 100% double check it. They call the fire, they call 911. So what happens is the firefighters, the police, everyone gets down there. What do you think the firefighters do? They jump in his boat, make him take his boat. They take the dead body, pull it into his boat,
No.
and then drive all the way back. And then that's how they do it. Because they didn't have anything. So he, was just on a fun joyride, and then they found the dead body, and they had to put it in his boat and everything like that.
Nope.
He couldn't believe it. Because, how many times have you been fishing and see something floating, and you're like, "Shit, is that a dead body?" And it actually was this time.
Good God.
That's
Yeah.
sketch.
No way. I've been at a media event. It actually happened this past summer. I was at a media event in North Dakota, and I woke up and got everyone to breakfast and was getting our pros to go out onto the lake. And one of our pros came back. He goes, "We're not launching there today." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, it's nice weather. It's time to go. All the boats are fine." And I was like, "Something wrong with your boat?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Don't go down there, but we got to call 911." And that's when it kind of clicked in my head, like what exactly he was talking about. And there was a guy, unfortunately, an older guy that was fishing there overnight, and apparently must have had I don't know the official cause. They didn't release it. Or at least I didn't pay attention to the news or whatever. But He must have just had like a heart attack and just fell in the water and drowned. Was just sitting there at the ramp. Brutal. That's about as close as I've came, and that's as close as I want to be. No thanks. I don't want to see anything like that.
I was I think it was about 2 years ago. I was kayaking on the Ohio in Louisville, and some people, like, we have a couple walking bridges, and some people made a bunch of noise, and I kind of looked at them, and then all of a sudden all these cop boats came, and I was like, what's going on? Apparently someone had jumped off the bridge right where I was kayaking and killed themselves, and I was scared shitless because I was on a kayak, so close to the water, thinking, all right, and they were like, hey, can you go try to find this body? And I was like, no, I'm trying to find this body. I'm going to go home.
Santa's little helper doesn't like how serious this conversation turned to.
On to the next one.
Well, before you move on, so this one's not quite. It's not quite as morbid, but if you when you get done with this,
morbid.
Yeah, it still is. Somebody died. But if you get on Google and look up like Dayton, Ohio, Cheryl Coker, there was this lady that was missing here for like a year and a half. Probably, or maybe even more than that. But it was like the most famous case in Dayton. Like this chick, she was probably mid-40s, maybe. She was kind of like a mom. And they have security. Well, I don't know. She looked like a mom. But not young, not old.
What is this story?
Listen, I'm saying.
I'm waiting for it. Somebody doesn't say it.
Was she Lisa Ann or Brandy Love? Question mark.
All right.
Oh, no.
No. So they have security footage of her car being dropped off in an abandoned parking lot by her husband, but they can't like pin him for it. But she went missing. She'd been missing for like over a year. They know that he killed her, but they can't pin him on it because they got no evidence. And they never found the body, nothing. Everybody was always looking, and there were search teams and stuff, and they couldn't find him. Well, like a year and a half later, it's the middle of the summer. I'm walking through a real small, like same thing, right? Just like a drainage ditch farm creek. And it butts up to a bigger river. And so I was walking through there and just tromping through the woods, a place that I've probably gone 5 or 6 times that year. And I come around the corner and there's like 4 or 5 news cameras like set up just in the middle of nowhere right there. And I'm sure if you get like their B-roll, some of them had to have had their cameras on and they see this guy like walking around like hip deep in the water and like look and then like, nope, and walk right back like out of frame because like I don't know what's going on here. Well, they found her bones and her like clothes and body and stuff right there, like at a place where I've walked by, I don't know, 5, 6 times that year. And I like went up to it and I had no idea what was going on. And the news people were right there. And then her family was right there and everything. But like, if those bones had been there the whole time, I have blindly walked by them for 5 or 6 times and never saw them.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, in fishing news, there was a...
Hold up. I may have a good way to kind of wrap things up here. So,
fishing.
What is everyone's thoughts on the whole sports betting thing that MLF released on
I think
both
they
the
stole
Jackal
my idea.
Warehouse?
What a transition, by the way.
This is where we bring
Dead
Dick
bodies
on
to betting.
Transition of the century. I got a good way to wrap this up.
This
Sports
is where
betting.
Dick comes on.
Hold up, I got a good.
How
transition
many
here.
dead bodies? Will
I've
we
been
see
so
on
out of the loop, I didn't
river
even know they were doing that.
Dude, yeah. So Bally Sports is the title sponsor for the Angler of the Year title, and
Interesting.
that's a sports betting deal. So I'm curious how they're going to place odds on this stuff. I was texting Panger about this, and I was like, "Dude, did they call you? Like, this is your jam?" And I'm curious because I've never been someone who's been into like betting on sports games and stuff, but like I follow fantasy fishing enough, and not as much on MLF, but I
What
still
was
follow.
Panger's response?
No, I haven't got that call yet.
Well, like I'm sure he had an opinion. Like, come
Well,
on.
like no, yeah, but like more of his opinion was like I don't think he realized that it was actually going to be betting because he was like yeah, like I think they're just the title sponsor for now. I'm like no, I think they're going to be like betting. So
they're betting.
Yeah, like I'm curious. I'm excited to see it, man. Like I think there's a potential to draw more people to the sport. Like I don't know. Like I think that people are into that stuff.
I think so
Yeah.
too, personally. I think
True.
that if anything, it's just going to bring more money to the sport, and two, maybe it might not bring as many people as we think into the sport, but I think it'll bring more attention to the sport because it'll bring people outside that are like, oh, I can bet on fishing now.
Wait, hold on. Like,
Pro bass fishing on
I know
DraftKings 101.
I'm loud and I know I'm like a lot to handle, but out of the rest of you guys on here, am I the only one thinking like, is this the people we want like involved in our industry? Am I the only one thinking that? Can someone please support me?
Dude, there's sports betting in everything.
I'll kind of
I
agree
know.
with you. I'll kind of agree with
You
Yeah,
put
no, I
that
totally
on,
understand
like,
that.
local politics elections. If you,
I just don't
if you're
feel
on
like
the right
Bally's.
Wait. So wait, are you saying, Joe, that you think like someone's gonna pay, like, has a bet on some guy to like do really well and is gonna pay off a few like heavy hitters to like not do well that tournament?
I'm
Like,
just,
what are we getting at?
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
yeah. Wait, what's the negative side of this? I'm confused, dude.
To me, the negative side of it is like, don't you guys watch movies? Have you not seen The Gambler? Like,
Okay.
or Ben Affleck in whatever that movie in Cuba was, or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Batman.
Are you thinking somebody's going to Pete Rose themselves?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I think it'd be really
as
hard.
a
in
general
professional
rule,
There's not enough money.
the sponsors of events in professional bass fishing tend to be very reputable. And when we start to open the door for one slightly different type of sponsor, what, like, is Browsers going to start like sponsoring an event next?
No.
I mean, I
Will
hope so.
Reality Kings?
Yeah,
No, I mean, like, that's-
I don't
I'm
see it
serious,
going that
though.
way.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, then where do we draw the line? When we start stretching the boundaries of this industry that's so established and very respectable, when we start stretching the boundaries, like, where does it end is my question. Like, is money all that matters anymore? Like, will
Yes.
like, I know the answer to that. Like, it was,
I think, Joe, full disclosure, I think this is a way better. I think a much better sponsor to have than a tobacco company, which Bassmaster already has as a sponsor, which is,
Okay.
I think, more negative than a potentially profiting.
As someone who works in the drug and alcohol
I was gonna
treatment
say.
and prevention industry, I believe I should speak on all of these. And alcohol, nicotine, and gambling are all diagnosable brain diseases and addictions. So I don't think one is better than another. But
It could be an equal platform.
equal platform.
I don't want
I
to
can get on board with that.
I don't want to segue off of this topic too much, but I want to just put a point out there that I think I've said a few times on the show, and it's Dick Duckett here saying, "What would you rather have, respectable or have the sport grow a lot faster?"
Both.
Personally, and I've heard a couple guys talk about this, I think the sport's already grown. I think there's only a certain capacity for fishing because we only have so many bodies of water. I think there's certain niches of fishing that can grow, but I think as far as the niche we're all in, there's only so much we can grow.
And I agree with you. So
Oh.
my next response to that becomes, so, like, is it now going to turn into, like, and this could stir the pot, but, like, is it going to turn into, are Bass's sponsors, like, more respectable, or MLF sponsors, like, more respectable? So now does it turn into this, like, money battle and
I
respectability
don't think anyone
issue?
cares.
No.
Here's the deal. Okay, are we not? Are other sports not respectable because of the gambling side of things? Because that's been going on for a long time.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
play
like, I
DraftKings
don't-
every day.
Okay.
and that's not me, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's a loss of respect aspect, in my opinion. Like, I think it's a way for Major League Fishing to say, look, we want to get on this fantasy fishing thing. Clearly, it's successful. Like, it is awesome. It keeps people super interactive into the sport. I'm obsessed with fantasy fishing. If there's money to throw at it, I've never, I'll play poker, I'll do some stuff. Like, I'll probably throw some money at this. Like, I'd like to see what happens. You know?
I mean, like, so, like, I can respect Bateman and you both saying that because so like the culture that I grew up in, like rural East Bumble nowhere, Pennsylvania, like we just have a different culture. But to hear you from Colorado and you from Tennessee be like,
But I'm from Kentucky.
well, whatever. But like, okay, so like two different parts, parts of the country that are much different than where I grew up. Like that just means I'm ignorant to the fact that culture is different somewhere else. So it's why I asked the question. Like,
no, I think it's a good point.
Eye-opening to hear you guys say that.
It's because you're from New Jersey.
Well, I'm not from New Jersey, but like New Jersey's like that far away. Like, you know, I'm gonna go take a big old New Jersey after the show.
You just spit in your room.
The only thing here would be my point on this. So I like the idea. Matter of fact, I talked about it before, like on some of my streams, that I would love to see professional bass fishing get into the DraftKings or FanDuel market. Dude, it's a niche that people would play. I mean, you don't have to bet $100. Dude, I play nickel and quarter, football games every day or basketball, whatever. It's not a big investment. But I feel like no one's heard of Bally's unless you're like into the casino scene. It'd been even better if you could get that licensing with a DraftKings or a FanDuel, because that brings it out to a huge market audience. And let's just call it, a lot of that audience is gambling. I know people that play FanDuel, they don't even have a favorite NFL team, but they can tell you all about the salaries and the fantasy moves and stuff like that. And I think that's cool. But negative, and I'll say this, I don't mean this bad, Santa's little helper, and it's not really you, but everybody wants the sport to grow. Like, if you want it to grow, you've got to get money to put into it. But every time it seems like we get these outside sponsors or different things going to grow the sport, there's a group of people, and I'm not really singling you out, that go, no, don't like that. We can't do that. Let's just, no, we don't want that money in there. I don't like them. Well, you know what? NASCAR grew from what it was, and I hate comparing fishing to NASCAR, but it went from just kind of a hillbilly effect, and then all this money come in, tobacco companies, beer companies, Dale Jr., Budweiser, all that stuff. Sure. When all that money came in from all those, whatever you call it, sponsors, non-endemic sponsors, that's when it really grew. Will that ever happen to bass fishing? I don't know. I really feel like the community thinks it's bigger than it really is. And I love fishing. I love tournament fishing. And hey, I'm a guy, I buy shit all the time,
Well, I mean, if you put it into that nutshell, right, there's probably, a couple million people who follow bass fishing, like 2 to 3 million. If you take it in a whole nutshell of what the population in the United States is, it's 320-something million people. So it's like 1% of the entire population that follows bass fishing.
Right.
It's peanuts, man. Absolute peanuts.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing, and to go off that, is we talked about cigarettes and alcohol and stuff. How many times have you ever seen on MLF or Bass, Thrift or Fighter, like just firing up a smoke?
Dart.
Never.
Never see it. You're right.
Unless you're watching Bassmaster replays, then you will see it.
Smoking heaters, rubbing heaters.
Seth goes, yo, Wes, shut that camera off. I'm going to have a dart.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
I mean, that's just those guys being real professional about it, and I get that,
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty good at hiding a dip,
Here's a quick thing that I kind of thought about it too. In just talking about it, I didn't have this, when this came out, but what I was thinking about was, when you're looking at your betting on sports, or say you're having a fantasy football league, and I'm not speaking on everybody, but there is a group of people that, like, when you draft a certain player, say an NFL or hockey or whatever, that you almost you become to know them, obviously, because once you draft them, and maybe say if you're social media savvy, you look them up, maybe you follow them. Maybe to anglers, this might be a plus for them because it's more they're reaching a broader audience to bring back to their following, which then in turn makes them look better to sponsors because they're reaching this broader audience. I think betting for anglers is a huge thing because a guy that's just willing to blow money, you might look up a guy and maybe see how. I mean, this is also betting on people like being smart enough to look it up, but like looking at their social media, seeing how practice is going, or just like simply just wanting to follow the person in general. I think for the anglers, it's a big plus. I think in general, it's a big plus. I think you need to stay positive until negative reasons arise, and then, correct your decisions properly once negative things do arise. I think you just can't assume negative just because history.
I was actually more on board until your argument. I was dude, because I think the reactive strategy is let's pretend like problems don't exist until they exist. I don't like that strategy in business. I was more on board until you spoke, Bailey.
I think with betting though, it can actually be really beneficial. I think if you go into everything with assume the worst, I get that it's smart, but I think if you have the assume the worst strategy, you prevent yourself from being successful in some cases. Some cases you're like, yeah, that's a clear answer.
I think the fact that this is even a conversation is like fishing's problem in general. Like, we never want to keep up with times. We never want to push the envelope. We never want to do anything. We're run by boomers that don't want to change anything, and we need to do everything like we did in 1974. It's like you should be banging down the door to get sports betting into this. You should be banging down the door for any sort of audience and any sort of draw, any sort of money, because the problem with bass the problem with bass fishing in general is what you said, Andy, where you've got 2 to 3 million people in the United States that are interested in bass fishing, and then
he almost said Braziers.
I know. You guys have my mind in terrible places right
now. It's a normal hack. Don't blame us.
But you have 2 to 3 million people that are interested in bass fishing, and we did the dumbest thing in the world, which is we fractured that even more into now they have to go to bass, MLF, MLFLW, whatever the hell we call it now, right? Like, when you're talking about, like someone earlier was talking about professional football, we all know what that means. NFL. When you talk about professional basketball, we all know what that means. NBA. When you talk about professional bass fishing, got no idea, right? You got to give me more information than that, because there's 5 different pots to pull from. But you should, like, I work in.
We've all had to explain it,
dude. That's money, Andrew.
Yeah, and I work in pro sports, like, for my day job, and Ohio is supposed to get betting on sports betting next year, and we can't wait. Like, you just need to, it's coming eventually, so you're either going to get with it or get left behind.
Okay.
And you don't need to sit here and drag your feet and be like, it might attract the wrong kind of people. It's like, just need to attract people in general, because otherwise
let's just bring more audience. Kudos to MLS.
Yeah, because the people are going to decide if it's going to work or not.
Yeah,
right.
That is also a good point, Andrew. A lot of the southern states, Kentucky's like, I don't really consider it the South, but
you're like Midwest.
Tennessee sports betting's legal, but there's a lot of states in the South still that sports betting's not legal. Like, you can play DraftKings and stuff, but you can't win money. You know
how many rednecks are waiting to throw money to bet on a bass fisherman they've been watching for 20 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna throw $5 on thrift this year.
People do it in in fantasy fishing all the time, right? Like,
just imagine
you and a couple of buddies throw some money together.
Just imagine how many horny kayakers would be ready to throw a $20 bill at Kristen Fisher.
I don't think the money involved is going to be like anything compared to other sports.
It's over.
If Christine is listening, I am sorry.
I like her. She's great, by the way. And she.
Thing is, that's the smartest $20 you can throw in kayak fishing right now. Is on Christine is a hammer.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
that's
all right. If you got $100 to spend to lay on some guys who you lay at first tournament of the year, who are your stone cold locks? I mean, you got to pick Jacob Wheeler every event.
Jacob Wheeler. Up north, Justin Lucas is always going to be in it. Like, the guys that just catch a ton of fish with the MLF. And it's not that hard to look it up. Like, if you go back and look at statistics from every event,
figured out the
same 10 guys who are in the top 10 just about every single time.
It's Evers, Attifo,
you know what's going to suck about this is that it's not ever going to change, where it's like when you sports bet, it's 2 different teams every time. It's 2 different spreads. It's, home and away, things like that. If you're just betting on the same group of 50 guys, fishing over and over again, like, those odds are always going to be the same almost for every tournament. Like, Jacob Wheeler is going to be minus 5,000, and the guy that's, at the bottom of the pile is always going to be plus, 13,500. Like, nothing's ever going to change.
Bet James,
it's going to be fun to look at the odds every time.
Every tournament, because he's either going to be in the top 10 and you're gonna
Or
make some money on it,
Oh,
or
I
it's
see
gonna
what you're
bomb.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You need
no,
the
no,
streaky
no.
guys.
So to all this, Dick Duckins has a lot of good points in the feed here, and he's talking about like the
I saw that.
like basically having to come up with odds in all these different situations, right? And that is what Pangler, I guess, did get into. Is he's like, dude, it's still hard to set odds with all this stuff. Like, there's so many more variables in fishing, and I think that kind of makes it fun, right? But like to me, it's gonna be finding the diamonds in the rough, and I feel like from like a fantasy fishing perspective, the reason going back to Bailey's point of like hyping up anglers, like that has happened because of fantasy fishing guaranteed, or like some guy that breaks through with something and it's like, oh man, I had him on my team because I looked at like he's from this area, and that those kinds of things. One other point that could be a play. I mean, this is all kudos again to the MLF guys, but okay. You know how they have that package, and I could be wrong here. I saw that there's like a monthly fee package to like get full statistics on anglers as far as like what bait they were using, where they were catching fish during events. Now hold up, like all these guys actually, if it takes off and people are spending money, how many guys are going to pay for the monthly deal, right? Like how many people do you know?
Every
right?
major sports bettor will pay into that just because they want an advantage.
All the stats, right? Like I've heard of guys like in fantasy fishing or not fantasy football leagues, right? Like where you pay for those different services to have complete picks like set up for you or stats,
analytics.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm curious. Maybe that's part of this play too, is pushing people back to get into that level.
Yeah, like
it's an additional revenue driver. Sorry, Bailey.
No, you're good.
But like,
I completely agree.
I don't know. I don't know if
I think-
I'm into it as much. I don't know. I'm riding this roller coaster as we talk about all these things.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Greg Hackney said it best.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you don't think that fantasy fishing plays into an angler's coverage on live or Bassmaster Live, I mean, you can look at the correlation for years. So
look at our text groups.
Angler.
Yeah, like every event. Oh crap! I chose so and so. Oh yes! Like look who just caught a 5-pounder, right? Like it's the same as watching fantasy football and watching.
I do feel fantasy fishing is a lot more of a wild card than football.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what Dick just said.
Go to Lake Fork. Everybody chooses guys from Texas, and then usually it's like a guy from Ontario, a guy from Florida that does well, a guy from Oklahoma, and then all your
Rick
5 picks
Klon.
from Texas blow it.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, to kind of relate to what you were talking about, it's like, fantasy fishing, obviously there's so many different variables. I mean, like you said, how that guy in Kentucky came back and his co-angler was sitting on his spot with a tin rig, whatever, catching all his fish. Anglers have to deal with that versus, fantasy football. The closest thing they have to deal with that is some random ass streaker going through the stadium. That's about as close as they'll get to somebody blowing up.
Or maybe a weather change.
Yeah, weather change. But I mean, that's as close to a variable change that anyone in sports is going to have. But John, what are you going to say?
I like that point.
Can I bring up a topic? I don't want to call any names out, but I've messaged with someone on this podcast about it because someone dropped the name Rick Klon. When does a Legends exception need to end?
If we're going to be real about it,
I don't think there should be a Legends exemption.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't agree.
Look, I see both sides of it. I think that, and we'll just put it out there. Like, I think if you're going to be and claim the best trail, the best in the world, you need to have it be that way, that you're actually having the best in the world. But I understand business side that people will follow certain anglers. But if you're going to claim to be the best in the world, you can't keep people around that didn't earn their keep, didn't earn their way. No offense to.
I don't agree.
What if the Legends exemption only applied to the Bassmaster Classic?
I could get with that.
That could be cool.
Like, you can't fish the Elite Series, but if you're a legend and you've won a Classic in the past or an AOI, you would get a free pass to the Classic every year, and you can choose when you want to fish.
I think you should get a one-time redemption.
Once. I think once. One time. I think you should only get one Legend exemption point. That's all you should get.
And
I
you
don't
get
think
2 years to last. 2 years.
Well, I just think like the year you would get kicked out, all they'll do is like the next year you're up to get kicked out again. If your 2 years suck, and they add up the points and you're out for your 2-year total, you're out then. Like you better wreck them the following year. But I think you only get to use Legends exemption one time. I don't think we should get rid of it. I like one time, because here's the deal. It's like Kevin Van Dam qualified for how many straight Bassmaster Classics, right? And then he didn't, right? And I'm not saying he got to the point where he was out, but let's talk about why KVD did not qualify for the Bassmaster Classic that year. And it's really obvious. Kevin was on too many shows and ran too much business and decided at the same time while running business to be home with his family. And I think he's earned that right to screw up for 1 year. He was the greatest in the game at that time. But you are so great if you're a legend in the sport, you should be able to pick up the slack the next year. And I think they would agree with that too. I think Kevin would just say, hey, if I didn't come back with a vengeance the next year, then I do suck. Like, I don't want to be out, but take me out. You know what? You're right. I sucked. Make me get back in if I want in. Like, ask me what I'm made of. I think the greatest legends in our sport would say that too. I think you get one. I think it's not a Legends exemption. It's a Legends point. You're either
or a Legends pass.
Yeah, here's my response to that. And this is what I'd be really curious to hear is I've only heard one. I mean, and it might be because I've missed it somewhere, but the only response I've had to someone who has been given the opportunity at a Legends exemption was Mike Iaconelli, and he chose to decline it and make it through the opens, which he did like a badass. But like everyone else that's been given a Legends exemption, I haven't heard a response to what they think about it. You know, I'd rather hear from the anglers what they think about it versus what us from the outside, a fan perspective, or the league. You're on mute, or like what Bassmaster thinks as a business, because I understand the business side. I really do. Like, if you want to keep your ratings up, you got to keep the people that people want to watch.
Let me ask a question. Out of all those legends, who's selling more stuff right now? Mike Iaconelli, Rick Klein, or David Fritz?
Ike,
all of them.
Ike.
We're all selling it.
Or Klein.
No, Ike. I mean, like, I don't think it's a.
Besides Tactical Bass and Mike Iaconelli is the #1 Tackle Warehouse affiliate.
Yeah, I figured.
And
I
trust
mean, look,
me,
like
Tactical.
the Fritz side, okay, but I think Ike, man.
Tactical probably blows them away, though, doesn't he? Don't they?
But still, if you knew how much Tactical was making for Ike to be #2, he's still making some bank.
And that's only Tackle Warehouse. That's not the other 9,000 endeavors that Ike already has his hands in.
Yeah. So Ike's still
I don't know.
good for
I think him making the choice of not taking a Legend exemption and going back through the opens and qualifying the
way more clout. Way more.
I respected the living shit out of that. That was the most badass move I've seen in the past.
Well, there's two other guys that
Hackney
too, right?
the same
BP
thing.
and Hackney.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
the same thing the year before. So why are we giving Iaconelli all this blah blah blah? Like Hack did it a year before him.
I'd be more impressed if Bogo could do it.
I think part of this.
There's no legend there.
Who's Bogo?
So what about? But the difference.
Bro, do you even fish?
How much time you got, buddy?
This could go on for like another 2 hours.
Hold up. So one thing, and I could be wrong here. Iaconelli is a part owner, right? In as far as the select anglers in Major League Fishing. Yes. I think that's why it's impressive. And that's not that way with Hackney, I believe. I could be wrong, but that's why I think it's cool to see something like that happen.
I like that. He's gonna make money on Bass and make money on MLF on the back end.
Dude, he is just a businessman. Like, it comes down to it.
Like the day he qualified, my buddy Drew Iaconelli, day 2 of the St. Lawrence River. I mean, good friend. He was over here yesterday, right? So my buddy Chris said, he asked Ike why he was doing what he was doing. And Ike said, because I'll be a nutcase on tour if I would have used my Legends exemption. And we all know Mike Iaconelli has struggled with his mental health. He's been real open about it a few different times. Dude, like the dude just flat out said it wasn't because he was trying to do anything special. He had to prove it to himself that he could fish at that level. He wasn't trying to set a precedent of any kind. He just wanted to make sure he could still hack it. If he wasn't going to do this TV show gig and all this other stuff, all these millions of things that Bailey mentioned he's got his hat in, he wanted to say, I want to know if I can still fish with these guys. And that's how he was going to prove it to us.
Too. One open tour. Because he only fished in Northern Opens.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. But like, I mean, even like, and we talked about this on one of the podcasts you guys had me on. Like, dude, he only needed to fish one because even freaking, not Hallman, Upshaw said, I mean, dude, if Ike couldn't do it with that schedule, I think Ike would have punched himself in the face. Like, he would have been upset. Like, Mike's hard on himself. I don't think it's outrageous to believe he would have punched himself in the face. He's hit himself with water bottles in the forehead. Like, you know, it was a schedule that lined up for him. If he couldn't do it with that schedule, why do it at all? Like, that's Mike Iaconelli holds himself to a high standard.
Yeah, and I will admit that I was wrong in forgetting that Hackney did exactly the same thing Ike did, but Ike's getting all the attention for doing that. So good point, Joe. I'll
more popular angler.
Right. Yeah.
Here's what's cool though. I think it's cool to see guys like us sitting here talking about it because the people who are serious about this and watch this stuff pay attention to everything, right? Like, I think it's the situations like this are really cool where we dig way into this stuff. It's like, I think, I don't know.
Is it bananas? We've been talking about this for 25 minutes.
Yeah, we went from not so serious to back to serious.
Yeah, we're talking about dead bodies, and now we're arguing.
We can't help ourselves.
Hey,
we're gonna get serious about bass fishing eventually.
And thank you to all the viewers that have stayed tuned in for the 2 hours and 20 minutes of shenanigans.
All 8 of them?
Yeah.
All 8 of them.
Wow.
Thank you. All 8.
Burn. Like, that's not very nice, Joe.
Well, I mean, like, I can.
You have to add the amount of people in here. So
those
it's like
those are real
plus.
viewers. Some podcasters claim 20,000 downloads, but these are real viewers.
Well, I mean, like, no, well, I mean, I've talked to Bailey about this a million times. Like, 1 million people are, like, not 1 million. I'm speaking, like, in generalities. A ton of people will listen to this on iTunes. Hopefully they don't turn it off too early. Like, but, like, you know.
3 people. We got 3 people, Joe.
Hold on. I know a really good way for us to just really boost this live viewership. You ready?
I'm not getting naked.
There we go.
Really?
I'm just kidding, Joe. You can come back.
I'm not getting naked.
What did I do wrong?
I'm not getting naked.
I wanted to have a competition to who has the bigger nose, me or Joe. So if we could do a side profile.
Oh, dude, come on.
Sorry, I'm taking Joe.
I'm taking Joe.
Day.
Wow.
Dude, I didn't put up with 12 years of schooling and this big bird beak to not win this contest.
Women love those noses, though.
Oh, well, don't get me started. Why?
Good God.
I do feel some errors though.
And we're back.
To get on, I guess, the horse again. I do feel there's some errors though that, like, there's other sports making money at certain stuff that bass fishing doesn't do. Mm-hmm. So, like, you look at MLB, NBA, all that. You look at all the sales in, like, clothing, T-shirts. Well, that's the same thing. Clothing and memorabilia and stuff like that. Bass fishing tried that several years ago. Back when I was working with Mike Otten, we had the Classic Patterns TV show. We had a booth at Pittsburgh, and we had clothing for Van Dam, Iaconelli, Timmy Horton, Kelly Jordan, all the guys on the show. The only people that bought anything, and no offense to any of the guys, we sold KVD shirts, Iaconelli shirts, and all the other anglers may have sold 2 or 3 T-shirts. It's kind of a weird deal, but, you know, unless you're selling MLF merch at Walmart that's just like Major League Fishing stuff or bass, I just don't know if the market's out there. But I'm going to show my age when I say that something that's really huge right now, it's really made a comeback, is sports cards. Like, it's unreal the money people are spending in sports cards. And I don't just mean NFL, NBA, but UFC, all kinds of any sport. Even they got like celebrity cards now. In 1993, there was a Bassmaster set of cards. I got the whole set.
No way.
And they're worth a lot of money right now. Why doesn't someone like Bass or MLF, let's get in that market. That's something that people can spend.
Untapped.
It's
NFTs.
untapped.
We're going NFTs.
Yeah, NFTs, sports cards. I'm putting a copyright
Too
on it right
bad
here.
none of us have any liquidity to, like, get together and, like, make this our thing. Like,
So
Dude,
wait, should I be
I've
selling
already
all
researched
my-
it. It just takes a little bit of coin.
All right, so
But-
you start selling
my
some of those
cards right now?
baits behind you. I'll drop some of the Japanese stuff in my place, and we'll be able to afford what 7 or 8 cards.
Oh no, it's
I'm just
super
kidding.
nice.
I'm just kidding.
The deal is this: can a company? Let's say we all pull together, say, hey, we're going to start, master baiting cards or whatever you want, and that's a terrible name. The deal is,
Don't look that one up on the internet, kids.
do not. The deal is,
Oh.
can you get that? Can you get the licensing for it? And if you do get it licensed by Bassmaster MLF, are you going to have to pay these anglers royalties? Or do you do like Panini Sports Cards does? You say, like, King Griffey Jr. is going to sign a bunch of cards. They pay Griffey like $150 to $250 a signature. Do you roll Matt Robertson in here and say, hey, Matt, I'm going to let you sign 500 cards. I'm giving you $5 a card. Is he going to do that, or is he going to go, oh, it ain't worth my time?
Yeah, you can do it for individual anglers, but they wouldn't be like MLF or Bass licensed memorabilia, right? That's the thing with sports cards is Topps can go to the MLB Players Association, which represents all the MLB players, and they can knock that, all out with one stone. It's the same thing. Like, this comes back to why it's a problem that our whole industry is so fractured, because there's not one person that you can go to and be like, I want to make this. You would have to go to 5 different governing bodies who have 5 different sets of rules, who these people may think it's worth this, these people may want this type of deal, and it just doesn't work. But there's nothing to say you couldn't make your own designed Matt Robertson card, and you design it and you print it and you pay Matt, privately to sign them. That's yours. It just can't
I'll do it anyway.
It just can't be licensed. Yeah.
But am I going to have to Photoshop all the sponsor logos out on jerseys?
That's up to him, right? I guess he's the only other person in this deal anymore. You're not involving Bass or MLF or anybody. This is a one-on-one deal with the angler. So it'll be up to them, right? To be like, hey, yeah, I need my jersey with the right sponsors. And be like, no, I don't care, man. This could be you pay me $3,000, I'll sign 300 cards and we're done.
Matt Robertson, his animal fur jacket, on him hat, autographed card, gonna sell a ton.
Yeah,
holographed. Yeah, first edition.
I think he'd be really. Edition. I think if you got done it the right way, and instead of you could do the insert cards, and maybe you pull one, and hey, this is Ike and Ellie, it's auto, and you make it a chase thing. It may be a very limited market. Maybe I'm thinking too big.
1 million people. You might get 100,000 buyers.
Super limited.
The deal is if it's got value on the secondary market. Look, my son's got into this. Dude, I've spent like $400 in 3 weeks on sports cards. It's ridiculous. But
I got a bone check and tell you.
Dude, he pulled one the other day. It's like a $400 card.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, oh, shit. Now, I got my money back. I'm even now. But that's why people are doing it. Again, it's kind of gambling. All right, I'm off my horse.
I don't think the market's big enough for fishing. Like kind of.
What I wonder too is if it's because the sports market, like professional sports, like the Big Four, like if it's because of their audience base being like very spread out in different age brackets. Like, dude, the audience base in the bass fishing world right now is like very specific to like a certain type of like age group.
Like. How many pro anglers are in their 20s at the moment, and how many college kids are following them in that 18 to 22 age group?
I think there's more kids. So like in the age where we were when we were collecting sport cards, I think you take that age, that generation now, I think they more care about getting replies on Instagram from their favorite athlete or whomever than they do actually having a sport card. I don't think that really resonates at all.
But there's value. But Bailey, what Bateman was saying is like, what's crazy is the value has gone up on these cards, like from the previous, right? And it's like a legitimate investment.
80-cent card is worth $10 now, or a $50 card is worth like $2,500.
We're also talking about the Big Four, not fishing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. But
or something ridiculous.
I 100% agree. From the standpoint of fishing being too small, it's not a Big Four. Like I get all that. But what I'm saying is like we're starting to see like these new things like. And I'm someone who is not versed in it, but I have taken some time to research the NFTs and all this whole new realm of people investing in weird situations. It's just like I think when people are passionate about something, there is some value there. I don't know if it's sports card or the answer, but we've seen how fantasy fishing has worked out.
Imagine what the kayak fishermen would pay for a Christine Fisher card.
Oh, God.
Yikes. Moving on.
Yeah, but like if we go to this aspect that you're saying, Deacon, what about like beautiful wall art paintings, right? Such a small like a tiny little portion of the world's population follows like these crazy art wall paintings.
Yeah.
It could be the same way with the fishing platform, right? You have a very small specialized group who follows it and is willing to pay an X amount for said card, like they would for a wall painting that maybe 100 people would ever see in their lifetime, and they're dropping $400,000.
Well, here's another point though too, is that like an NFT is way more universal than fishing is, and also fishing and hunting are collectively joined together in our society, and they're trying to get rid of that content on all of our social media in our world because they're trying to see less of it. I don't think there's anything anywhere for fishing in terms of trading cards.
And there's
I
no
think
nostalgia.
more of a specific angler and his community, her community, and that's it. I think you'll get still a few, but you're not going to get rich off it, and it's never going to be popular. That's my personal.
Damn, just crushing my damn dreams right here.
I think just don't go into fishing for it, bait man. Just stay in the big four or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, then you'll do it. But I don't think fishing sport cards will never be I don't think it'll ever be a thing.
As the number one fan for Richard Dick Duckett, the problem in our industry, all of our money goes into tackle, graphs, and boats. Pretty much no one wants to buy sports cards, and that's the truth. Sports cards aren't going to catch the fish for you. So.
Facts.
Did you just see what I said too? I think what I said is very, very like true. Like, dude, you saw the Sandlot when you were a kid. Like, if they had a ball over the fence, the only thing they needed to play was they had to go find 59 cents or 99 cents to get another ball. Like, the pay to play in our sport is redonkulous.
Yep.
So
Sankos ain't cheap, dude.
But think about anything that's ever had trading cards. It's Big Four sports. It's what you guys said, right? Like Pokemon or things like that. All of those have nostalgia going for them. That's why they're booming back up. We have no nostalgia in fishing trading card. It's just, it hasn't been around. That's why those things keep going, because there's a resurgence with every generation with trading cards, with baseball and basketball and football and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and whatever. They go in these like 20-year cycles because that new generation comes up and gets their dad's old cards or whatever, and they get into it, and then the old ones go up in value, and then the ones from their childhood go up in value, and it's something that I think would be hard to jumpstart.
Yeah, I mean, guys aren't keeping signed packs of Levi Garrett from David Fritz hanging around or anything.
Yeah. Yet. Just wait.
That's men.
Yeah. Yeah, and
well, Brian the Carpenter does have an empty signed carton of Marlboro Lights that Fighter did sign for him. Like.
Hey, I have a signed fishing thing. I'll nerd out for a second. Hold on a second.
I thought he was gonna like pull up like.
It better be Bill Dance hat.
I saw his leg come up. I was like, "What's he gonna show us?"
Speedo.
Is he wearing Speedos?
Look at this legend right here.
Bang bang.
Wow.
Oh,
That's what's up,
There you
Andrew.
That's what's up.
Great.
NFT that one.
Is Bill Dance the most universally recognized angler?
yes.
Yeah.
Go to a classic and see if he's like the line. It's like that.
Dude, I'm convinced they're gonna keep dragging him to the classic like 2 or 3 years after he actually passes away. He's just gonna be on
Like Weekend
a
at
Bernie's. Like, yeah.
Wow. I think if, and maybe this is a horrible hot take, but like I think if Fat Cat Newton kept his persona and didn't sign with NPFL, that he could have been like, I'm not gonna call him the next Bill Dance by any means, but the next universally known character in fishing.
I don't even think he's on the radar.
Matt Robertson is way above him.
Yeah. And I like
Alvin
Fat Cat.
Nye,
That's
I
nothing
think,
against
Brandon
him.
Pollock,
Fat Cat Newton's
all.
presence is way bigger.
Fat Cat hasn't done anything for months.
Listen,
Because he's been
okay,
with NPFL.
I saw this guy at an expo, and I didn't know who he was. There was no one talking. He was at like the cash-in booth or something. It was just this big guy. Was at the booth, and everybody's walking right by him. No one knew who he was, like that kind of stuff. I don't think that.
Like I said,
it's
it's
a very small niche of people. I think that know him and like him a lot.
I will say when I had lunch with Matt Robertson, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, his brand is going to grow tremendously, I think, in the next year outside of fishing with the hunting. And
Billy Strings is wearing his shit at concerts.
He's one of the smartest guys I've ever talked to in my life.
Yeah.
Concerning your branding and how you do things.
Dude, Matt's badass.
Yeah.
That video of him blowing up his deer decoy was the funniest thing.
Hilarious. Oh my God, dude.
So good.
I hear him on the naughty list.
The sad thing is
reindeer season.
Matt has ran some crazy ideas through me that's just like the tip of the iceberg of how Matt thinks. He's got all these crazy ideas.
Yeah,
not
so
bad.
good.
Of course he does, dude. He
lean into who you
the
are.
Bass logo on his arm.
But he is us, right? He is
Yeah.
He is all of us that are in Podunk, nowhere, Ohio, that fish with ugly sticks and have a
Dude, you
a
have
John
hair
boat. Like
gel
he's
in.
us. That's
You
why
are
everybody
not-
loves him.
Wait, if that's the case, then should we call Bassmaster the No Fun League because they made him put his jersey back on?
Yeah, I know. That was disappointing, right?
I mean, in the NBA, you can wear a jersey and you have neck tattoos. I don't see there's any. What's wrong with having cut off sleeves?
So are we comparing Bass to the New York Yankees? Is what we're saying. You had to have.
Why do we have to
cut
put fishermen on this platform that says you have to dress like you're going to church? By God, you're out fishing for bass.
Yeah, he's still got the bass crest visible, right?
Yeah.
Well, who cares?
Rock
Got that
it.
tattooed on. It's dope.
Dude, people love that, and especially when he went up and smashed the 2 water bottles. Could you imagine how much more hype he'd get if he was smashing 2 natty lights?
Oh, you knew he tried to. He had to ask.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, I got a question. Who pounded the beer on the classic stage? Was it Corey?
Someone got in trouble, didn't they? I heard about
Did he get in trouble was my question.
I thought Corey was on like one of the up on the north swing when he.
Oh, was it the St. Lawrence he pounded a beer?
Yeah, I think it was
Did
up
he get
north. It wasn't
fined
fine.
like Matt got fined? Oh, and P.S. Hayes, I wish I had hair like you.
Which fine of Matt? Are you talking about the the Jersey one?
No, I know Matt got fined. Did Corey get fined? I was wondering what's worse.
Which is odd because like you're allowed to have beer and tobacco sponsors, but you can't have a beer on the show. I don't know.
Well, and you can't wear a cutoff with and have the right body art. I don't know. It seems.
Yeah, I remember years ago it's kind of controversial when Bass told guys they're not allowed to like wear blue jeans and stuff on the stage. Basically, not allowed to look like Forrest Gump anymore. Like they had to have. They're supposed to look more
watching
presentable.
them. Why are we fighting that?
Yeah, I mean, the guys that spend the money. I mean, obviously there's a niche group of guys that like mega bass and high end stuff, and probably live in super nice houses and have fake trophy wives and all that. That's cool. But the majority of guys,
I'll marry them.
The majority of guys that are into bass fishing, tackle nuts, nerds buying all this stuff, are blue collar guys that work 40 to 50 hours a week that, make less than 60 grand a year, and they do it because they love the sport and everything about it. And that's why Matt is way more successful right now than a lot of guys that are really trying to find their niche.
Resonation.
Yeah, it resonates.
Well, dude, it's resonation. But you know what? Here's the deal with Matt Robertson. I've got plenty of buddies who are not resonating with Matt at all, but they love freaking watching it. That have never, have not grown up the same way Matt did. That are
that was my
fantastic.
point when I said
because the dude can freaking catch him.
Oh yeah,
it's like the Tiger King. Nobody resonated, but everyone watched.
Right, exactly.
100%. It's entertainment.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Again, that goes back to the whole
a wild story, like not even a wild story. Matt Robertson shows up to his first classic in like this fur coat, and then 2 years later he shows up again, and now he's on the Elite Series, and everybody knows who he is, but they remember that first classic he made. He made a
business.
Made
I
a
love that
memorable
dude.
impression, and now everybody knows who he is. So his platform is sky high.
Well, like my introduction to Matt Robertson, I was fishing in open as a co-angler on and where was it? The Arkansas River, and he rolls up, and this was the year before I believe he made the elite, and he rolls up, and he puts his, I think it was a Triton at the time, and we're like at weigh-in, getting out everything, and he freaking throws it up on the bank. He's like, "Bah!" and pulls it up on the bank, drops his motor in the mud, and he turns around, and I kid you not, like, I think I drew Andrew Upshaw that day, and his boat goes floating away. Paul Nick's boat goes floating away, and he just goes, "Yeah, it's because I don't have those dang fancy power poles." Like, straight up, like, just blew everyone out. I was like, I like this guy. I'm gonna follow this guy around. Like, let's see what this guy gets.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
That's amazing.
This is awesome.
Well, boys, do you guys have anything before we sign off here? We're going on almost 2.5 hours, so
I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work. I
do want to say one thing. I can't wait to see Dick Duckett's #1 fan in June because he's coming to fish with me for a couple days.
Hey,
So
Is he gonna wear the
excited about
Speedo?
that. I hope.
Are you
so.
guys gonna take the fancy boat?
No, we're gonna go on my little boat. So
I drive that shit up north.
no, we're gonna have some fun. So and then
You got to go through
Santa-
PA potholes.
Yeah, PA potholes. Yeah, I heard they're pretty bad.
Worst
But,
roads in the U.S., brah.
Yep.
Bailey, I
Bayman,
appreciate
what
you
were you
having me
gonna
on tonight.
Yeah,
thanks
Bailey,
for having us, Bayman.
I haven't met the 3 dudes above me right now, so I appreciate you guys putting up with me, you know, being patient. Like, it was good to meet you guys. You're all great dudes for sure. Just because you're still on here and haven't given me the finger, so
Yet. Hey, but if they
Never
didn't give you the
baptized.
finger, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know if I was
weird.
going to even be able to talk the first 10 minutes in this thing. I was really tired.
yeah, I was
It
pretty
happens,
impressed.
man.
You got fired up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Once
We
you start talking
appreciate
about
it.
bass fishing again.
Hey, Big Man, I want you to show me how to catch fish on Bashir's. I've heard Bashir's is a little secret honey hole.
All right, so here's the deal. I've only been on there twice, and it's been with Matt. And this is the kind of guy I am. I respect Matt.
I
will
know he
take
catches them there.
I would take you, but I will have to go fish completely new water because I'm not going to fish anything that Matt showed me. That's just how I am. Now, we can go try to find some stuff like he fished, you know, but, dude, it's a great lake. But it got hit by the tornado really bad.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, that whole town was destroyed. So, but I do want to let you guys know I got to go because I got to get ready for work. I got to build some Alucabon, but I'm going to try a 24-hour stream like New Year's Eve night or whatnot. So any of you guys want to jump on, help me make it through the night, you're welcome to join me. We'll see how long I can go.
I'm in, boss.
Yeah, same.
There.
Get to swing for a couple hours.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump off here. Bailey, I appreciate all you guys are awesome, but I had to get back to my blue-collar job and get my lunch pail ready. So
Hi, boss.
see
We'll
y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, for you, you know, Andrew, John, Joe. Seriously, I know you get. Well, you know, all of you guys have contributed to this show. You guys are friends of ours. We'll continue to be friends of ours, and I just want you guys to know to appreciate you not only for what you've done for us as friends for the show, but appreciate you guys joining in here tonight. And while it was a wild show, probably the most rated R show we've ever had, it was still a lot of fun. And I hope we can do it again, you know, down the road, and hopefully next. Yeah, we'll have to make this an annual thing.
Yeah,
just the
Christmas
annual,
party.
you know, 18 and up
Christmas
series
party. I
annual.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'll say this, like Deacon said on the Thanksgiving episode, he's like, "Oh, I'm really thankful that my girlfriend lets me hang out with my friends online." Like, you know, like you finish an episode like today where we were all allowed to like kind of cut loose a little, and it was different than we normally do stuff because it's like normally very regimented, and Bailey like keeps us on track, and for us to like tangent a little and talk about like, I feel like I let out a little frustration, you know, like the holiday season is very stressful, and like to be able to just kind of like laugh that hard about fishing stuff, which you normally only get to do at like weigh-in after you did well. Like, I don't know, that just felt good. Felt real good. So thanks for organizing it and letting me be a part of it, man.
Hell yeah.
Cool, yeah. If you want to keep feeling good, slide into my DMs and I'll help you.
Leave it to John to close us out.
And on that note,
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah,
thanks. It's been a
anytime.
pleasure.
Y'all always, everyone that was on this show, Kev, Zach, all you guys that joined us, and give that for just about every guest we've had in the show. Everyone should know that you have a seat on this show. We appreciate all of you guys, and Deacon, Andy. That's about all I got for tonight. Other than I appreciate everybody. We'll try to have a fishing video up the rest of this week, but other than that, we're taking the holidays off here, and we'll try to come back with Monday Night Live next week. But if you guys don't have anything, then we'll close it out here.
The only thing I may have is, let me check real quick. See the Bears.
Should we close it out before he has a chance?
Get ready to black it out.
Oh fuck, 17-3. Screw the Bears. They suck.
Deacon, anything, boss?
No, man. This was fun. This is a good time, man.
Cool. Well, for folks, if you guys, for folks that are still watching on YouTube right now or Facebook, appreciate you guys. And folks that are still listening on any MP3 platform, you guys are the real ones. We appreciate you. And we'll see you guys next week.